100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Friday edition. Our Jesse Nelson and Mark Tauscher, our version of Neil Page and Del Griffith, Steve Martin, John Candy.
Somehow I'm not John Candy in that situation, though. And you would think I would be.
My interest
I'm
is
the
peaked.
reasonable, actually getting on time and everything else. And we got Del over here schlepping shower rings trying to find a way out here to get a meal.
I'm very curious.
You know, that's a damn rare thing these days.
We got trouble in paradise here,
about
Jason.
the travel arrangements to University Ridge edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the
golf outing
ESPN
out
app.
there today, too, out in that Beaver.
Yeah.
Beaver Dam.
Indeed. I went to that one year. It was fun. Great events. I think Brad
200?
Nortman filled in for you.
This is actually the first year I'm not at it.
You should have went.
It'll be even
been
more
on time for that.
successful, I assume.
Probably gotten there on time.
Yeah, good one.
Streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. I'm Chase Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson has exited the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios to serve as chauffeur/annoyance to the star of our program. So, Riley Yauk is producing today's show. Good morning, Riley.
Good morning, Jason.
And he is a Badgers legend. There's no doubt about that. He is also the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Jason. Jesse's out here on time, as usual, and we got a lot of legends. I just saw him. Congratulations to all of the new Hall of Famers. I'm going to go through the list of the Badgers that are here today. Frank Kaminsky. GOAT, right? Well, I think he's definitely a Mount Rushmore Wisconsin basketball player. He's the 5.
Made him believe, am I right?
Is he the GOAT Wisconsin basketball player?
No. Michael Finley.
Finley wasn't player of the year.
I don't know about that, Jimmy.
Finley didn't get him to the chip.
I'm going Frank over Finley, and I know that might be – I think Devin Harris is probably, from a career achievement – I've had this discussion with Jordan Taylor. He used to, when I was working out, and I saw the basketball team a bunch.
When I was working out.
Yeah. I was rehabbing and coming back. Jordan was a part of that.
Okay.
And I've always battled. I don't know who to put at the 4. That's always been the battle line that I've struggled with for the all-time Badger basketball
Like the
team.
stretch 4 or
Stretch
just the
4
fourth
because
person?
I have always been a big Mike Wilkinson fan.
Yeah.
I think Mike is tough, and you just knew what you were getting, and I think he had 3 years of incredible productivity, and maybe even a fourth where he played a bunch as a freshman, I believe. And then John Lure, who was an awesome player, but it was a little smaller window. That was always the spot that I think I struggled as putting in my. And then you got Gosser, who I think just deserves to be. I'd probably put him as my sixth man.
So who's your starting 5?
Oh, I got Finley, you got Devin, and then I got Tucker. And I think it's between Decker, Wilkinson, and obviously Frank is the 5. That's that 4 spot. You could put Sam at 3. I want Alondo, but Decker is right there. I think it's between Decker, Lure, and Wilkinson as my 4 to kind of figure out who that would be.
Crazy that the guys that we love.
Who am I leaving out? Because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Well,
Johnny Davis.
No, Johnny Davis was really good for a year. Like, he was a really good player for a year.
So isn't it interesting that the team that went to the Final Four for the first time since the Old Testament doesn't get anybody on that
Mike Kelly's
team?
on my team. Like, Mike Kelly's going to be on my team. Yeah,
Okay,
but he's not starting.
He's coming
not
off the
gonna start.
bench.
Yes.
And he's the defensive spark plug.
I'm not here to besmirch the 2000 Final Four team by any means,
But you're about to.
they weren't number 1 in the country. They weren't a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. They weren't nearly as dominant as those 13 and 14 teams were.
They were not, but they deserve a ton of love. And by the way, Mike Kelly is making that. I don't know if anybody else is making it from that group. Kirk Penny would be on my squad. I would find a spot for
He's
him.
running your offense for you.
Well, he's going to be he's going to be a player, coach, shooter
Right.
for sure. Steamsma is somebody I want to find a role for him. He is going to block shots, and then you have to look back into that 90s, Griffith,
Tracy Webster. Rashad.
So it's a fun little thing to look at. I don't know. I think that 4 spot is the toughest one to find for the all-time team, and I think a lot of people would say, well, Sam has to be on the starting, and I'm not going to push back. I think he should, but who are you pulling off there if you're going to do that?
Alondo Tucker was a great college player. There's
Yes, he was.
no denying that. And so was Michael Finley.
And you're not in Tanjay. I mean, Tanjay with the year. It's again, I've always been more of and in today's day
greater
and age,
body of work.
it ain't going to work that way.
You're not putting Tanjay over Johnny Davis, are you?
No, I would put Johnny Davis ahead of Tanjay, but Tanjay's on my team. I just
we're doing the bench now.
Yeah, we've got a deep rotation. So who else is on? We interrupted you. That is my fault because usually that's your brand is the interruption.
What I do. Yep.
Who else are the legends that are there at University Ridge today? And is this in conjunction with the celebration of the Hall of Fame class, which includes our friend and your play-by-play man and Jesse's father that he never volunteered to be, Matt LaFleur?
He is going to be here.
Oh, boy.
You have kind of a who's who. Jordan Taylor, I just mentioned. Travis Frederick, who just got into the Hall of Fame. Bo Ryan is going to be in the house this afternoon. Let me see who else. Pavs, Joe Pavelski. He is in the Hall of Fame class and obviously very deserving. He's going to be a Hall of Famer in the NHL, too, which is always fun. Let me see who else we got here. Brooks Ballinger in the house. So
I feel like that's a guy we should talk to. One
so
of your
the
former
plan
teammates.
is again, Molly is here, so we actually have producers that are going to book a guest, which is awesome.
Our Molly.
Our Molly.
Okay.
Frank, we're
Very
going to try
rude.
to get Frank. I don't know when he's going to show up. It probably was a big night last night would be my guess. And we're going to get I've already texted with Chris McIntosh, the athletic director. Hopefully he's got a couple things he's going to maneuver. We're going to get him on so you can talk about the non-revenue sports and all the things that I know you want to get into with him.
Track facility.
And then we're going to see and Ballinger, I am golfing with him today. We are going to take it down. We'll probably win this thing, unlike when we played member guest a few years back. So that's going to be the plan.
Wow. A confident claim at 9:09. Brooks Ballinger must be one hell of a golfer.
Well, he wasn't when he was a member guest. As I told you, he played 60-some-odd holes in a 3 handicap with no birdies. But I'm not bitter about that.
The Redemption Tour.
And your handicap is still 16?
Yeah, 16 capper. Yep.
Okay. And what is Brooks's? Do you know?
He's definitely under a 5. I think he's probably a 3 or 4. He's got like 17 kids, so I don't know exactly. They're in
How
100
often he's
things.
playing.
So I'm guessing he's probably not getting as much golf as he probably would like.
So there was a name that was noticeably absent. Where's our guy Joe Thomas? Is he off fishing? Because he's a legend.
He's 100% a legend. He's in the Hall of Fame already. I think he's on like some all-time trip of just following him on Instagram. And he's also selling his boat. And
saw
my
that
guy,
too.
I got a guy for him. I'm going to introduce him, and hopefully I can broker this boat deal. I'm not even asking for it. I don't want anything. I want 2 people to be happy. One person to sell the boat, and the other guy to buy it.
Well, good luck with all of that.
Good luck. Good luck.
and with your round of golf today.
So let me tell you this. I think if you're going to get all hivey and itchy, we better get to Packer stuff because golf starts at 11. I'm guessing people will start matriculating through here about 9:30, 10, so we better get to it.
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving at 11. I tried to tell you that. You didn't want to listen. And I'm not mad about it.
So you're telling me that you're leaving at 11?
Yeah, and
and you're gonna get Frank Kaminsky and the athletic director at the University of Wisconsin, Chris McIntosh, in as guests, and maybe
Ballinger.
even Brooks Ballinger.
Potentially, yeah. Again, nothing's confirmed, but yeah, that's the plan. Yep.
Okay, well then we better get to break. Tell us about Pella Windows and Doors of
I'm trying to
Wisconsin.
tell you, I will. It's the last day. I always get sad at the end of months. Because we've had such a good time with these reads, and now there's a new on the new horizon. But you have till 31st of May. It is there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because Pella is offering 6 years with 0% financing. You can set up your free in-home consultation, and you commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations that will make it a reality. Again, 0 financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal, what is today, the 30th or the 29th?
Today is the 30th.
All right, you got till tomorrow, May 31st. Visit PellaWI.com today to get that 6 years with no interest financing.
So just so I know, since I'm not on site, thanks, by the way, to Molly for being there. I mean, she's like a star at our ESPN Madison.
Molly's the real deal.
Yeah,
She's the real deal.
so the fact that she's out there unselfishly efforting on these things for us is great. I am curious.
You know what? She had probably double the drive that my guy over here had. She's here. Everything's set up. Everything's perfect. Call it the whole deal.
Yeah, I want to
doing?
hear about this drive.
Leaning into the camera.
I don't know
shot.
if I do. I did the same drive, by the way.
Yeah. When did you leave? When did you leave your undisclosed?
All right, wait. So you guys, just to be clear, you did not ride together?
No, I'm playing. Jesse's not invited.
No, I'm
today.
not. I'm not a
He's
legend.
Totally shunned.
Not a
Oh,
legend.
all right. I am very curious as to what the heck happened with you two on your way there. Plus, it's one of those stories that if it sucks and somebody walks up and is available, like Frank Kaminsky, we can just cut it off and talk to Frank.
Oh, that'll happen.
We will find out more about the journey to University Ridge and talk to some Badgers legends in the process. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26th game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's. At Metro Ford of Madison, they sell vehicles that are built in America for America. This month, enjoy their You Pay What We Pay sale. The 2024 Ford Mach-E offers 0% APR financing for 72 months. $13.89 cost per $1,000 borrowed. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.47 per $1,000 borrowed. Bonus cash available on XLT and SXT models. All offers available to qualified credit. Browse their inventory at metrofordofmadison.com.
Spring is here. Time to get growing at Felly's Flowers and Greenhouse. Felly's has everything you need to bring your garden to life, including the largest selection of locally grown annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, and custom hanging baskets. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting started, Felly's Greenhouse in Fitchburg has the best selection to make your garden bloom. Proudly voted Best of Madison, choose Felly's Flowers as your go-to garden destination. Visit us today and grow with Felly's.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tausch, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you. Metaphysical man, but I know when the stars are aligned, you can bump into a person in the middle of the road, look into their eyes, and you suddenly know. Rocking in the dance hall, moving with you.
Jesse and Tausch are live on site at the University Ridge Golf Course for the Legends Golf Outing with UW Athletics. I don't know if we've done a great job of celebrating our guy Matt LaFleur being a Hall of Famer.
Who?
My
Nice.
fake dad.
Oh, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, your part.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
We
I don't
barely
feel like
mentioned it.
I feel like we haven't talked
No.
about it enough.
We gave him he had his own Feel Good Friday when he got announced at the game.
He did. I still.
That was a while ago.
It was.
I mean,
yeah.
what have you done for me lately? Like, what are we doing here?
That's the
You know
point.
what I mean? No, I'm saying Matt. I'm not talking about us. I mean,
he was on the jump around with Jim
man,
and Pablo
I think,
last week.
I think at some point, the entire and when Mac joins us, I'm not going to ask him this because I'm not going to put him on the spot, but I would venture to say that the press box and everything else should be Matt LaFleur, whatever you want to put it, because
At least the radio booth.
no, I think the whole thing.
I thought the Tom Oates press box would have been.
Oates can get his own seat.
He's got that at Babes.
He's worked for that is really true. I just think the impact Matt has had and the amount of respect and admiration that you talk to any of the basketball folks and any of the football folks in the administration, and then what you see, and we bust Jesse up a lot, but Jesse reaches out, and the just doing the games with him, the amount of young people that he brings up to mentor, just to give advice and opportunities to. He is, he always gets uncomfortable, and that's why I like doing this. He's just a great dude, and he loves what he does, and he loves this university, and that's why he should be in the Hall of Fame. And it couldn't go to. There's a lot of great names on this list, but from a longevity standpoint and from an impact standpoint, yes, he'll always tell you it's the players, and totally agree. But he has provided a ton of great soundtracks to all of these great memories that Badger sports fans have. So he's the man. He is the GOAT. And I'm sure he's probably had a big night last night celebrating, so he's probably not up yet getting over it.
And this Hall of Fame induction is underway with a bang.
Bang might be a little too loud for everyone if they all had a big night last night, like Tausch is saying.
So wait, did you have a big night? You're a legend.
No, I did not have. I had a big night. It was just in a different format. It was more
baseball game.
It was more kid related. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I did want to get to some of the aspects of what the Packers did this week with their OTA practice. They've got another one that will be open. They've got another one today. It's not open, or maybe it was yesterday.
They got a Friday OTA?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think Oak would want to get up to his lake house.
I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week, and then it's again next week. Okay. So we'll see what we get to see next week. I think it's Tuesday that we'll be at practice again. But I wanted to circle back to something that we talked about yesterday. And Jesse, again, hardest working man in show business sometimes.
Just not always on time.
Yeah, wait. You know what?
No, do the Packers. Do the Packers thing.
I don't think it's going to be that good. There's accidents on the belt line.
Yeah.
That's the gist.
Okay, thanks for catching me up then.
Yeah.
Jesse oversold it in the text message.
Ambulances, and you just hope everybody's all right.
We'll cover it when Tausch is gone in the 11 o'clock hour.
There you go.
Well, if it's not good now, how bad is it going to be when Tausch is gone?
We'll find out.
Jesse posted the clip, and I reshared it along with the Hall of Fame information about our guy Matt LaFleur in a subsequent tweet. But your insight into the Jordan Love leadership piece, I thought was really interesting because, again, you had played with two guys that they didn't always play at a Hall of Fame level. Throwing 6 picks in a playoff game like your guy Favre did was not ideal. But they had that accomplishment level to merit the leadership that was required of them. They also had the personalities to do it. But I don't know, you weren't there and neither was I for the early years of Favre. Did Favre have the natural leadership in like 1992, 93? Like he was this young guy who had overslept for the team photo in Atlanta because he was hungover. Like I'm not sure he walked into that role necessarily either.
No, I would say there is no way that when he came from Atlanta, missing the team photo and all of the things that entailed, it was still Magic's team, So
right,
you don't just get handed captaincies and leadership; it's earned.
You can appoint yourself,
and you can appoint yourself, and you can go out and do coin tosses. But to get a C on your chest, or to have the team follow you, and especially as a quarterback, you have obviously a ton of. But just because of the position and how important it is, you have all of that sitting there, and you need to be. Mm-hmm. You can't have a good football team if your quarterback doesn't lead. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be screaming at people. You need to lead in what Brett did. And what I saw, I don't know how many times he gave any semblance of a speech. There'd be times he'd, make a mention, but his whole thing was he was going to have fun. He was going to be engaged, but you just watched, and he didn't miss anything. Like he practiced, he went about his business, and I think by the end of his career, you could tell that he had done 93 blast enough, and I understood the OTAs, but he knew the importance of being there. And just like in life, showing up is really the big part. It's just a huge part of everything. And when you show up and demand that you're going to be there and have a certain practice, everybody else has to jump on board. That's leadership. It isn't screaming at people and is it holding guys accountable and doing it? Yeah, that's another part of it. But you find your way. You find how to lead in your own authentic way. And when you do that, guys follow. Guys will, especially if you're a good player. And Brett, I think it was a combination. I don't think Brett was ever the rah-rah leader. I don't think he probably was even in high school or at Southern Miss. It was more – I think Aaron probably had more of the vocal – and Aaron was by no means a super loud, like getting in guys – like he'd get in your face, but he wasn't, doing the rah-rah and all that. It comes back to, man, the example that he's setting and you're watching, and you need to follow or you're not going to be successful. And that's part of setting the culture. And that's the beauty of having these quarterbacks go back-to-back, and now Jordan, is they know. They've seen it, and they say, this is how it's got to be. This is what it takes. It takes what it takes. It takes what it takes.
Is the camera on the same table at which you're sitting?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Because every time Tausch makes a point by tapping the table, we have like a mini earthquake. Video stream.
You're an emphatic guy, and sometimes you hit the table when you're making a good point, and it's a great point that you're making, and it shakes the camera a little bit.
Great.
It's great. It's funny. It's just funny. I thought the people watching on YouTube might enjoy that.
I didn't say anything about it. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
I know. I didn't need Jesse to describe it.
I'm confused. What? All right.
So here's what I love about that.
What I'd love to do.
No,
he's very happy with me today.
I'm not going to.
So what I love about that, though, is so Favre, I must have heard him say this 24 times during my time covering him. He would always talk about the guy. You remember when you were in high school and you had this guy, he was the big vocal guy on your team, and he'd say, these guys called us a bunch of cream puffs. And then he'd run out there on the opening kickoff and get knocked on his ass.
Is that Terry Bradshaw?
I don't know who it is. But he did not believe in that because he thought, what is that? That only lasts like a play or two anyway. So you can,
that's what I always say is dose. That's like there's people that I'll hang out with in doses. Like a dose guy.
Why did you lean and look at Jesse?
Real close to me there.
Small sample size. You can't have a season where you're just running on high energy. Like that's not sustainable, and it becomes tune-out city. There were some guys on that year, and it was my first year in Madison, so I was just hanging on for dear life. But there would be guys that would get up, and it's not our house, we're going to be and we ended up 4-7 or 4-6-1 or whatever it is. And it's great when you pick your spots. But when you're living on that, it just becomes white noise. It has to be like when Gilbert Brown got up before the Tampa Bay game after the year after Cliffy got, knocked out and his hip got displaced. That was meaningful because you could feel it. It's not just, there's so much coach speak. And matter of fact, like Dav and I would always laugh and we'd start yelling because Chili, he's Mr. Quotable. And he would do all this stuff and we'd just start yelling it in Portuguese because we'd heard the same thing over and over and over again. And we'd have fun with it. But the young guys, and that's where you have to buy in. But you also realize, man, every guy, especially guys that have played, they have their ways of getting things ready and right too. And it's not always going to be, let me go run through a brick wall. At some point, you get sick of running through brick walls. Like, go around the wall. Go under the wall.
Go over the wall.
Have different speeches. And I thought Barry Alvarez was great at that. It would be different speeches and different ways to motivate. And it comes back to, don't try and be something you're not. If I got up and tried to be Johnny Rah-Rah every week, I'd be exhausted. And I think there's just players
So would we.
There's players that I think they feel like that can sometimes be their role, and most guys don't like it. Most guys like it if you pick your spots, great. But if you're always doing it, it just becomes.
All right, I want to get to some of the wide receiver conversation, and I really want to get to our exchange with Josh Jacobs the other day about him having to talk with the wide receivers after giving his opinion. But Jen, Gabe, and Chewy asked me an interesting question this morning that I want to bounce off of you. But I don't want to do it until after you tell us about another Badgers legend, Bucky Badger and UW Credit Union.
I think I saw Bucky. There's a Bucky statue out here. It gets me excited. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Doesn't matter if you're a whippersnapping freshman, if you're an old salty senior, if you're a player on a G&G, or if you're hosting a radio show. Every you, proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, are going to help you reach your financial goals. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Well, of course. Is it the member-first service? Well, abso-blanking-lutely. Great perks like early payday. You get those checks. Take a picture. Send it in. That's a nice little perk,
Makes it
too.
easy.
But between us, man, I just love the state of Wisconsin. I love Bucky. You can't say no to that face. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't just pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but, man, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
More from University Ridge with Tausch and his buddy Jesse. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. And you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Between basketball and baseball and hockey, there is a big game on just about every night this time of the year. And Pizza Hut is the perfect addition to your game day viewing experience. Whether it's a night in on your own or you're having the whole crew over to watch it all together, stock up with some original stuffed crust pizza, wings with your favorite flavor sauces, or a bunch of other delicious options that Pizza Hut has to offer. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites, complete with 3 bold new dips in the Ranch Lover's Flight. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
The greatest show on dirt is charging through Wisconsin. Saturday, June 7th, the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars invade Beaver Dam Raceway's grand finale for the Jim J.B. Boyd Memorial, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Then it's a Sunday special on June 8th when the Outlaws race to Angel Park for the first time since 2016. Gates open at 4 p.m. Tickets at slspromotions.com. Be there.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Live the high life at Nitty Gritty, home of the famous Gritty Burger in Madison's official birthday place. Celebrate your birthday at Nitty Gritty and receive a free memento birthday mug to fill with free beer, specialty birthday cocktails, or soda all day long. The Nitty Gritty has celebrated almost 900,000 birthdays, and birthday celebrant number 900,000 will receive a $1,000 Amex gift card. Grab some friends and celebrate your birthday at the Nitty Gritty, located in Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty Gritty, a tradition since 1968.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. WeatherTech Chicago is up next on June 6th through the 8th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
This is our crew.
First pitch to Jackson Churio. Driven left center. See you later.
Hear the sound of summer right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
See you sober if I'm breathing, racing to the moonlight. And
Jesse and Tausch live from University Ridge for the Legends Golf Outing, celebrating the Hall of Fame inductees and Badgers sports history. Any sign of any of your legends who might be joining us?
Nope.
Must have been a big night last night, I heard.
That's what I'm hearing.
Let me tell you something. I don't know about you, golf outings. I am still in COVID golf. I don't come to warm up. I prefer if they have that little donut in the bottom of the hole, so you just COVID sucked. I think we can all agree on that. COVID golf was awesome. No, it was.
Because you never had to putt out? Or?
There's no warm-up. You hit the stick. You're in. You get to move the ball around in the sand trap.
You hit the little floaty
COVID
thing.
golf needs – I don't know.
Why were we moving the ball in the sand trap for COVID golf?
Because you didn't want to rake. I don't know. There's some
wild
reason.
times, Jason. Wild times.
Let me tell you something. Why is a lot of stuff – we want to look back at that. Wow. I hope those tapes are burned. No handshake. Oh, what a bunch of idiots we were. But that's a whole nother conversation. For another day. Well, you guys were worse than I was, if we're being honest. But I digress.
No, only one of us killed the handshake.
Yeah. But COVID golf. COVID golf.
Do you remember what you replaced the handshake with?
Nux.
No.
What did I replace?
You wanted like a point, like a.
I do like the point. I still think that's not a bad idea. I think that's not a bad idea. Hey,
what
you.
Kind of a flick
How are you? Yeah. I actually I'll stand by that. I think the point's a better way of doing it. Hey, Mal, how are you? Hey, Jelly. There you go.
The point man. So you actually made this point yesterday, and I don't think I you, but I'm not sure that we delved into it as far as we probably should have. And Jen, Gabe, and Chewy did. They made the point, and I think it was Chewy that said it. Why is everyone so afraid to suggest that Jordan Love regressed last year or took a step back? We heard the audio of his response to that.
What did he say again? I don't remember. I know a lot of what he said. Did he say he regressed last year?
Because he got hurt, he missed some games, so
that
naturally
was
his
the stat
stats
line
would be
of
lower.
it,
Yeah, when Matt did that, I knew I had him. No blank. That he
Win
was.
for Wilde.
Yeah, 0.1 after my physical specimen line from him. But when you start, no blank, he missed the equivalent of 3 games. He's going to have fewer yards and fewer touchdowns. But his passer rating, all that other stuff, he did not play. And we all know this because we, on this program, were as guilty of this as anyone. Not killing the handshake, but crowning the quarterback. Because that 9-game stretch, the 8 games to finish the regular season, and then his performance in Dallas, we weren't burnishing his bust in Canton, but we were definitely crowning him. And he did not play.
He was the best one of the top 3 quarterbacks.
He was playing the quarterback position as well as anybody in the league.
If you look at the Dallas playoff game in the first 3 quarters of the Niner game, he played the position as well as anybody was playing it at that point.
Agreed.
In the most important game. So
agreed.
I don't know if I'm going to say we crowned him. I think we probably didn't let the sample size come. And I don't know what last year looks like if he doesn't, rip his knee up a little bit and have to miss some games and play differently. And when he came back, he wasn't ready. You saw that. He struggled, and it was a sloppy game. So I do think we crowned him. I think we probably elevated him to a certain point, but you can only go off of what you see. And what we see is a guy that makes a lot of special plays, and he's still inconsistent because he's young and he hasn't seen everything. So I think he is rightly ranked right about, in that 8 to 12 range. That's probably where he's at right now as the crow flies in quarterback tierdom. But he has all kinds of opportunities to jump and to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I think when you're seeing how people view this team and where they have them, there are a few pundits that have, the Packers are going to be in the mix. I hear a lot of, Washington, and some people are even throwing Dallas and, Tampa, the Rams. There's a lot of folks that are leaving Green Bay out of that mix. And, Green Bay at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, I don't know where their odds of winning the NFC are, but they're not in the top 3. And that is a direct reflection. How many times when Aaron Rodgers was quarterback or Brett Favre, was Green Bay not one of the top 3 teams as far as –
You're right.
It just wasn't there. It was always, maybe not always the favorite, but you were right there in the mix. And right now I think you're in the mix, but you're on the outer – you're not in the mantle. You're probably out in the crust, as far as where you're hovering when it comes to science. And with the Green Bay Packers, I think you're more mantle than you would be the core, or if you're on go crust, you're in the middle right now.
I'm sorry. When you start talking about crust, I'm thinking about your blueberry pie.
Blueberry.
Bringing back all the COVID hits.
But I do think the point you made, and this is what I wanted to get to before, in case someone came walking up any second, is that you said that Matt LaFleur doesn't want to put any extra pressure on his quarterback because he knows the pressure that's on him. And Jordan seems to handle that fine, but I don't think he wants to add to it. That was your point, and that was my point then to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, because he did dodge the question by making a joke about my physical specimenness and then by talking about the stat line, when it's a serious question. How much more do you need from your quarterback to do what you want to do this year? And to suggest that they don't need more, even Jordan Love would say he needs to be better, right? So it's not, I just don't see why there seems to be this.
Just wait a second. You know why. You and Domofsky live this. You guys don't want the heat, so you're staying out of the kitchen. That's what it is.
So the coaches don't want the heat?
No. You're saying why are not more people not giving credence to slippage?
I'm not No. I'm not talking about the media and what we're saying. I'm talking about why in the building it's so hard to acknowledge, hey, we need him to play at a higher level than he did last year. And you can even answer that by then saying, and I think he's healthy. He looks great. He's grown a ton. I think he's going to play at a much higher level.
The easy answer is just say, yeah, he is banged up, and I love the way he fought through it, but we're expecting him to even be better this year. That's
right.
The easy answer. And I don't know if is that not what they're saying?
No. I didn't hear the second part.
They're kind of saying it. They're saying, hey, yeah, he was banged up. He missed 3 games. His productivity not going to be the same, genius, because he got 3 less games to put numbers up. That's kind of what I heard him say.
Except he doesn't say the second part. We're expecting him to be a lot better this season. He did not say that.
I just thought that's implied.
Okay.
Is that not implied?
I suppose it is. But
you think they're happy with him throwing the picks and in the big games? No, and a completion percentage? Now, you can say there's drops. You can't live in the NFL complete. What did you say yesterday? 61.5%?
61.3.
You can't do it. That's not a winning formula. And
even with 33 drops.
I'm not putting that all on Jordan, because if those drops come in, he needs to be in that 67. Yeah, that's where you need to be as an NFL quarterback now if you're going to be consistent, and that's what we're looking for. We all know he's got big play capabilities. He's got a lot of things going for him. He's going to have his legs back where he can move and do some things out of the pocket. But the consistency happens from guys catching the football and converting third downs and getting more plays. I think one of the things, and I might be amazed too, I don't know what the stat is on this. So I'm just like I was surprised by the amount of explosive plays. Where did Green Bay rank in total snaps last year? Because that's a third down. They had some long drives. I don't know where they lasted on that, but that's the consistency where you stay on the field. There were way too many 3-and-outs. I do know that last year. Now, there were some really good 16-play drives, and they had some really nice long touchdown drives. That's the consistency where you don't miss on a 3rd and 6, and you don't drop it, and you keep the chains moving, and you get into the only way you get into rhythm in this league is by getting first downs. And that's the consistency that they need to see more out of Jordan and obviously out of the receiving core.
I can't seem to find. I have total yards. I have yards per game. I'll work on figuring out where the Packers rank. They were over 1,000, but not by a lot in terms of their total offensive
I would bet that they're probably
snaps.
in the mix because they had so many long drives. But I would think 3-and-outs is something that they were way too high on the list. Of 3-and-outs last year. That's another thing you can check. And another thing I'm going to have today is a refreshing Coors Light. And
Did you just give me 2 assignments and then start talking about how you're going to drink
I'm not
Coors
going
Light?
to ask. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to do it right away. This is me being a good teammate, giving you a little beat.
Is that what it is?
Take a beat.
Sure. You're welcome.
And by the way, I had some folks yesterday say, "Is Coors Light? You guys not with Coors?" Oh, I'm totally with Coors Light.
What?
I don't want to misconstrue because I threw out a sheet from 5 years
Oh,
ago.
you didn't throw it away. We need it for the Hall of Fame.
No, it's still scrapped up, but it's back at it's at my undisclosed location. But I'm here for the Blue Mountains of cold, refreshing Coors Light. This is a whole new read. And whether you're tailgating pregame, this will be fun. Enjoying your experience during the game, celebrating a big win on the golf course or a game, and you just need a moment to chill. Crack open that Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light. It's brewed with that 3-step cold process that I love, cold lagered, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged. So it's made to chill, and you know that is what I will be having out here at University Ridge this afternoon. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
The read was actually updated in 2023, but you just haven't
never used
looked at the new one yet.
I don't even know how old this one is, but look at how crisp that sheet is.
Yeah, it's a nice
I
piece
just
of
want to
paper.
make sure
It's from COVID golf.
I couldn't be more you guys know I love Coors Light, and I felt like after I did that yesterday, I was like, I hope that doesn't get misconstrued, and I think it did. And I want to just make sure Coors Light.
No,
we're in a great spot.
No. It's just a sheet of paper. Jens, our Coob consultant,
speaking of
texted,
COVID,
the Coober
yard games.
As an assistant golf course superintendent,
no big deal, big promotion for Yenzi.
We generally loved COVID golf. No bunker rakes. Oh, so you didn't want to. You didn't want to touch the rake.
Touch the rake.
Touch the shared thing.
What a genius move. Let's get that back implemented.
Leave the flag sticks in. No accessories on the golf course. Only downside was people taking individual carts, so there was more traffic on the course.
Yeah, but that could be, just put one of those. I mean, you had those plexiglasses that were like, that was the security blanket that you needed. Just fire it. Put that up, and you're good. Right?
No COVID means maybe guests at University Ridge today. But then again, maybe not. Rolling on at the Legends Golf Outing at University Ridge. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and I hope you're already feeling good on this Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. I know you'll be feeling good if you trust the fantastic work you can count on from the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints for your next paint project. As you get ready for that dreaded summer paint project for your home, you'll be feeling good if you make Holman Lindsay your first stop. And it's so easy to get connected with a Holman Lindsay pro painter. All you have to do, stop into any Holman Lindsay store, ask, and they'll connect you with the pro that best fits what your project calls for. Remember, Wisconsin's best painters use Wisconsin's best paint. Check them out at HallmanLindsay.com. That's HallmanLindsay.com. Holman Lindsay. Great paint, great people, and stay tuned for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out the show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
In for Pablo Iglesias, I'm Jesse Nelson. Kickoff times and TV networks for the first 3 games of the 2025 Wisconsin Badgers football season have been announced. The Badgers kick off the season Thursday night, August 28th, hosting Miami, Ohio at 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. The following Saturday, September 6th, Wisconsin hosts Middle Tennessee State at 3 o'clock on FS1. And the big one, Saturday, September 13th at Alabama, set for an 11 a.m. kickoff televised on either ABC or ESPN.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare leave me now, throw my heart on the ground, 'cause tonight ain't the night for sorrow. But you can hurt me tomorrow.
Joining us now, live from University Ridge. He's a legend, and he's the athletic director now. And I have to ask, I've never asked him this.
Oh, boy.
I am very curious.
What's the deal with non-revenue sports?
No, stop.
Okay.
Just because, hey, we all care about non-revenue sports, including the athletic director, so stop.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I've never asked him about you as a teammate, so I want to do that. It is Chris McIntosh on Wilde and Tausch. Chris, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good to see you, Jason.
It's good to see you, too. I'm sorry I missed you in person. I was mentioning this today on social media because Tausch was really great yesterday talking about quarterbacks and leadership, and he was so insightful. But I had to mention in my tweet about it that this is why I think he's the GOAT at what he does. But at the same time, very, very, I know you're an avid listener to the program. Very frequently, we get sidetracked.
He's a podcast guy. I've checked his phone.
Does soap clean itself and the like? What was he like? You guys have been friends for 20-plus years. What was he like as a teammate? Has he always been this way? Would you have conversations with him and he would take it off on a weird tangent? What has your friendship with him
Oh,
been
boy.
like?
I'm very curious where this is going.
Well, first of all, I would say 20-plus years. I actually think we've turned 30 now.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
do the
I think
math.
you're
Well,
right.
95, so yeah, it's 30
Yeah.
years. That's
Which is quite a statement.
Yeah, it is something.
Chris is eligible for sainthood.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we had a really tight team in a room, an O-line room that was even more closely knit. Tausch and I came in as freshmen together. Remember the freshman camp, the few days of just freshman camp?
I remember thinking, I don't know if I can make this.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Yeah. That makes two of us. And I think that's actually that's probably a good taking off point, because I think there's a whole room of people that, at least the young guys, that weren't sure if we could make it. And it was a room. I mean, I don't want to sound cliche or anything, but like it was a room that supported each other, and everybody had their moments, plenty of moments of doubt. That's right. I know I did. But Tausch was always a great teammate and a great friend, and went through a lot of hard stuff together, and had a great run and had some great celebrations together. And I think as we kind of transition to what's happening here today, we announced our Hall of Fame class yesterday, and the best part about it is to hear the stories, because none of these stories of success are linear. They all come with different versions of adversity and challenge and pushing through. We heard from Frank last night, and just an emotional acceptance on behalf of the class, and it was just humbling to hear his perspective. And I think Tausch and I and many others on our team and in our room shared the same kind of experience.
Well, and what's great about it is that this place means a lot, and just the whole thing. And you come back to lead the athletic department. But Jason, when we were discussing yesterday the whole idea of leadership, Mac was a great leader, and he is one of the guys that it wasn't rah-rah and all this other stuff. It was one of the times where, he showed up, he worked, but when he spoke, and I think every guy on the team can remember, we had just gotten worked by Georgia in an Outback Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was ugly. And when Mac got up and talked, it was, I don't know how many times he got up and, he'd say stuff, but it was very rarely was it in front of the room. That's why I told you, the teams that have all these, our freshman year, we had 15 players only meetings. It's like, all right, we end up 3-6 and whatever.
Yeah.
The teams that do all that, it's when you talk, and then it's guys are receptive to it. And he's talking, I didn't come here to lose Outback Bowl games. We came here to win Rose Bowls. And the last 2 years, that's what we did. That's more, and it was always kind of went back to that. That's where if he's sitting there saying that every week, you make the point, and then it's about going and actually doing the work and leading, doing the work. And we always saw, Chris was always going to be out there. He's going to work. He's going to practice hard. And I'm sure there were days when we're running 92 Bob, and it's like, oh, we got to do this again. But that's what it takes. The old saying, it takes what it takes, and that's what it took.
Yeah, I think, there was a level of accountability that was created amongst each other. And, like, everybody's got bad days and days in which you're not at the top. And, I mean, I remember a day in the weight room, our good friend Weissy, who was a walk-on and a roommate, calling me out because he didn't think I was giving it everything that day. And, like, that, I think that's one of the things that were special about those teams. Didn't matter where you were on the depth chart, what position you played. We held each other accountable, and from top to bottom. And I think that's one of the things that contributed to our success.
No doubt.
So, Chris, I feel like every time we get to talk to you, we're at a different point in this very, very long journey of figuring out what the hell college sports is today, right? I mean, we had Greg Gard on a couple months ago. We had Luke Fickle on about a month and a half ago, and they both feel, and again, there's still more developments to come, that they and their programs have a much better handle on what has so long been the Wild West of the transfer portal and NIL. At the top of the athletic department, what is your view of where Wisconsin stands in finally getting this in some way harnessed so it can be equitable for everyone and everyone's competing on a level playing field?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Jason. That, every time we check in, it's at a different stage of what has been, really an unstable and unsustainable trajectory or environment. And I feel for our coaches, not limited to Luke or Greg, for what they're going through, and a lot of the things that we have taken a lot of pride in and have contributed to our success, development of players that stick around in our system and on our rosters, for 4 or 5 years, has really come under threat, and it's forced them to have to evolve. And I think our coaches have done a fantastic job of evolving. I think what we're waiting on, and we've been waiting on this since April 7th, is a judgment on the settlement of the House case. And I have to rely on the interpretation of the attorneys, but it feels like there's a level of confidence that it will take place, although it's not guaranteed. I am very excited about the prospects for Wisconsin in a post-settlement world. I think it allows us to do a few things. One, it allows us to control our destiny more directly than we have been able to in the last 4 years, and that is share revenue directly with our student athletes. That's a big step. Two, it will attempt to allow NIL to be what it was intended to be, and that's market-based name, image, and likeness opportunities for our student athletes. And for the last 4 years, there's been this proxy. Name, image, and likeness has been a proxy for pay for play, and I think that's one of the things that has contributed to the situation that we're in right now, which, like I mentioned at the top, is not sustainable. A new enforcement system, model, structure, single decision maker, that mirrors many of the aspects of pro leagues. I think that's a great system for us. I think we found ourselves as an industry in a spot where there's a lack of confidence in the NC2A's ability to enforce, and that has led to many of the challenges that we face today. So I'm optimistic. We've spent a lot of time with our Commissioner Petiti, and working through the Big Ten to help to do everything we can to build a structure that, like you said, Jason, is more equitable and gives everyone a more level playing field from which they can operate.
So how long is this going to be? I mean, let's say the settlement doesn't happen. You're going to have another year where it's been a little Wild Westy again. How long is this sustainable if the settlement doesn't go through?
Well, I mean, I'll stop short of like giving you an over-under on timeline on this, but I would just say this, one of the things that causes me to believe that it's not sustainable is, right now the industry is being legislated by the courts, and that's not a good way. And it's, it's eroding bit by bit, rule by rule. And by the way, there's reason for that, and that's one of the motivations for us to go to Congress and ask for help so that we can establish common sense rules, like how long a student athlete can compete in college athletics. Try to put some stability around.
Stop having 15 portals.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, we're not living in an environment where that's realistic right now, and so that's a good example of why it is what it is right now.
Talking with UW Athletic Director Chris McIntosh on Wilde and Tausch. All right, so Chris, before we get to my perpetual concerns about non-revenue sports, since I covered every single one of them during my career, and I do believe in them, there's something else that I love about Wisconsin, including the knucklehead that you're sitting with, is the walk-on portion of the football team's success. And I was talking to another dad at one of Maddie's track meets, and his son is a good football player who is probably the type that both of his parents went to Wisconsin. He's not good enough in this world to be recruited by Coach Fickle and play at the Division I level, but he's probably
you could send a tape like you did with that kid.
Now,
your cousin.
I knew
he tried to send a tape to guard. He's
that.
Like, hey, this kid could be a good player for you.
I knew you were going to do that.
And you saw guard like, oh my God, is he really going to send me a tape?
I never
so let's
did,
send
by
that
the
tape.
way.
Well,
I never did. So So, but if I may, but he's probably like the baby-faced kid that walked in freshman year with you from Auburndale, where he could walk on and maybe have a chance to develop. And what his dad was saying was that in this new, with roster limits and everything else, that maybe the walk-on concept, he's going to start out at like UW Oshkosh, which I love UW Oshkosh, but he's going to have to, like, if he's ever going to be a Badger, he's going to have to work the transfer portal to get there to be on the 3 deep or whatever. Is that one of the drawbacks? Because from Jim Leonard and Mark Tauscher and on and on and on, Walk-On U has been pretty damn good at the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I mean, I think that's, Barry referred to our walk-on program as the difference maker in our program. Just for a second, to just limit it to football, and I think there will be a place for walk-ons. I do think, though, we need, there's no getting around. Should the settlement be approved, and right now the sticking point is roster limits, and so it's hard for me to try to predict where that's going to land. But there's a possibility that rosters will be smaller than they have historically been, and there's no getting around that. I think we want to recognize the importance of the walk-on program and how it has impacted our program historically and how it can in the future. I do think, though, like many things, you need to look at a little differently at the definition of a walk-on today, because and how that a walk-on might be defined in the future. Because I would just tell you, generally speaking, the guy I'm sitting next to today, if he were a walk-on today and on today's roster of 125 kids, he would be able to he would have more benefits available to him than he had in 1995. And so if walk-on means no tuition aid, if walk-on means, like, there's variance along the way, and I think the reality is our athletes, and there are, by the way, I don't want to dismiss the fact that there are those traditional walk-ons on our program and in our school, so I don't want to say that they're not there anymore, but there is an evolution of what it means to be a walk-on, the level of aid that you can be on under the terms of the settlement. Football, like some of our other sports, would shift from a head count scholarship, like kind of everything, full scholarship, to an equivalency, like hockey. And so, there's going to be many more opportunities to support kids in different ways, that many more than we've had in the past.
The tough part is everything now is so year to year that you don't have time to have a class of 25 or 30 kids that can't contribute right away, because if you're going to limit your roster, and there is going to be the opportunity. So if I look at my own career back, I would have probably had to, if I could have went to a South Dakota State, and then you play for a few years, then you get a couple, a nice little NIL check, and then it's just going to be a lot different. How do you see that from a football and basketball standpoint of recruiting high school kids compared to, and I've had this conversation with Luke too, where you have to have guys that are grown men that can play immediately, compared to having me and Wisey and Grant, like a bunch of guys that it took 2 or 3 years to develop before he could play.
Yeah. I mean, I think the risk that we're talking about in that, a player that would have traditionally just entered as coming out of high school and had 3 years to develop and then begin to contribute, the risk being that player is going to go to a South Dakota State, a North Dakota. That is a real thing. I think it's likely, if you just focus on football, going to vary greatly by position. I think it will take time to understand how, from a rev share point of view, what makes sense by position. And I think, but I do recognize what you're talking about is a potential drawback and a downside. Like, there's no getting around it.
Yep.
All right, Mac, before we let you go, yes, I have a non-revenue question. I have a specific one and a greater big picture one.
Let me guess. What is your kid trying to play? Golf?
No.
Okay.
No,
you're not doing that. Okay.
No, don't do that.
All right, I won't.
I still can't believe you brought up the film thing with Guard. I hate you.
Well, let me tell you something. Greg tells everybody, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So, all right. So, Mac, we love it when you're on. Tausch will tell you that I'm a capital J journalist, so I have to ask you a tough question, so I'm going to. And I do it with the utmost respect. But how in this new world do we keep all the experiences of the non-revenue athletes continuing? And have you had discussions given the reaction? Look, I loved the Shell. I have great memories of like Danny Jones dunking on me in a pickup game. I loved that place. We all have nostalgia of that place. It did need to go to create room for the new facility, but obviously you've dealt with some frustration from the track program. Where do you see non-revenue sports in the big picture of the new world of college athletics as it's continuing to develop? And is there a way to find kind of a version of that track facility that'll make everyone happy?
Yeah, I mean, let me start this way, Jason. I think, Tausch makes light of the question around Olympic sports, and I think it's just important just to start from the top. Like, I don't make light about it. I don't. There are 20 sports in our ecosystem of our offerings that don't turn a profit, of 23.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That's how the model has been built. That's the model that I've advocated should continue on. I think there's ways in which the model can be equitable to everyone involved. So that's the starting point. I can't miss an opportunity to reiterate the fact that we take pride in 23 sports. We have north of 800 athletes today. Broad-based opportunity is important to us. It's part of our DNA. It's one of our core values. And so while I can empathize with many letter winners in future Badgers and participants in Olympic sports around the uncertainty and the fear right now, I understand where that comes from, because there are programs that are being eliminated around the country. That is not on the table for us, and it hasn't been from the start. So now, having said that, obviously the world is changing, and we need to change with it. And so the construction of our facilities has been a topic that has come up, specifically around the track. I think that the facility that we are going to construct will serve our track program well. It will prepare them to compete at the highest level. And we take a lot of pride in the fact that our track and field program, cross-country program, have been as successful as anyone's historically. And so that's something that we have worked on with McBurn, our track coach, and we've designed it in a way that will allow them to be prepared so that when they can compete at a level that meets our expectation. There are a couple of nuances, pole vault and high jump, that we have to find solutions for as we continue to design the project. But and we will have solutions for those two events. But I think the idea that we it hasn't met expectations of many within our amongst our letter winners in those programs, that we're not building a competition track. We're building a facility that will prepare us to be able to go compete, but we are not building a competition track.
Mac, we always appreciate your time. Are you playing today?
I am actually.
Okay. Well, make sure you beat Tausch and Ballinger, would you? Please take them down a pick.
You've never seen me golf.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like our There's a lot of things I don't like my golf with him and LePay versus me and Brooks.
Yeah.
I like our chances.
Yeah, I'm not taking
Mac,
that one.
Thanks. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
That is Wisconsin Athletic Director Chris McIntosh joining Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, can you handle talking about Quick Trip after all that, or do you need to go?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Just wanted to see.
Yep.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. Almost the weekend. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. It was a massive evening for many Badgers last night as the new UW Athletic Hall of Fame class was officially inducted at Camp Randall Stadium. Just a few of the names entering the hall are hockey legend Joe Pavelski, the voice of the Badgers Matt LaFleur, former Dallas Cowboy Travis Frederick, Patriots Super Bowl hero James White, and Naismith Award winner Frank Kaminsky. The aforementioned Kaminsky will be at the Made 'em Believe event on June 26th at the Orpheum Theater right here in Madison, so make sure to get your tickets now at uwhoops2015.com. The Brewers are also back in action. Tonight, the Crew is riding a 4-game win streak and hoping to stay hot on the road against the NL East leading Phillies. First pitch is scheduled for 5:45 Central Time. DL Hall will be making his first start of the season. Make sure to tune into the Jim, Matt, and Molly watch-along tonight on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch.
You know what, Jason? Life's
Yes.
busy. Grab yourself a coffee. Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're craving that fresh coffee or another snack, Quick Trip's got you covered. Variety of apps. I love the mozzie sticks, as you know.
Corn
And of course,
dog.
chicken, juicy chicken tenders, boneless wings, hand-breaded, fried to perfection. They're ready to go. You can grab that crispy chicken sandwich or the 8-piece fried chicken meal that'll feed the whole crew. The legend on your plate and a flavor that rules the roost. But, you know, it's not the only deal going right now. You can get grill and season, 5-ounce sirloin beef steaks, 2 for $4. Nature's Touch American cheese, 12-ounce package for $1.99. And Nature's Touch milk is also $1.99. Head over to Quick Trip. Quick rewards on every visit. Plus, you can order ahead or pick up curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We will see ya next time.
You're such a pro. Thanks to Athletic Director Chris McIntosh for joining us. I love it when we get to talk to him. I feel like I have a better understanding and I'm smarter every time. I did that track thing is a big deal on campus.
It
There's a lot of people that are
has
pissed
been,
off, and I had to ask him.
And I know, and that's I think that was informative. It is a changing landscape, and with revenue as being what it is, and with how things are going. It's definitely, I can understand everybody's point of view, and I thought Matt kind of laid out his thoughts on it, and the fact that all of these programs are going to stay, the 23 sports that he was talking about.
He said that it's not been on the table for them to go anywhere.
There are a lot of places, including some big-time operations, that you're not hearing that. So while it's not perfect, and I can understand that, there's old Brooksy, that's where we're at.
He blew you a kiss.
Yeah, he loves me.
He's not going to love you when you drag down the team today. So do you? When he said that, obviously someone who, we joke about it, and I love the way that he handled the first part of the question, because you do give me unending grief about that. But the bottom line is that is important.
Well, I'm not giving you. Listen, man, I am as in favor and wanting all of this to happen, but I also look at this from a realistic point of view.
Right?
And I think it's great that the university as a whole is about providing opportunities for a lot of people to succeed and to chase dreams. That's what this is about.
Right.
But to just put your head in the sand and say, everything will be fine, it's just not the reality of the situation.
So the other part, though, that was again, kind of a sensitive question was the walk-on part of it. And I'm just curious how you view that personally, given how vital that was to your development as an athlete, as a professional athlete, and just as a person. Because the Mark Tauschers of the world, you said it. You'd have gone to like South Dakota State and had to work your way to Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. My whole story and, I would say probably a couple hundred speeches I've given using this story, it's not there. It would be a different story, and whether it would have the same result, nobody knows. There's too many variables to kind of factor that in. So it's a part of the process now. I think for a lot of high school athletes that in the past maybe would have earned a scholarship or earned an opportunity to walk on, you're going to have to go about it in a different way than what you've done in the past. And that doesn't mean it's better or worse. It's just different. So it obviously sucks. I would love it if there'd be a lot of stories that you could still have where you come and you go. And I think from a fan standpoint, what college athletics has to be very careful of, and I think they are, is you realize you grow and you love seeing guys like Frank Kaminsky go from just a guy that nobody really knew anything about, and he grew and he got better, and he became the guy, National Player of the Year. I don't know if he gets recruited. He'd be recruited later, and you don't see all that development. And that's, I think, especially Wisconsin sports fans, because we've seen this for so long. So many of our players are Wisconsin guys that grow and find a role as they get older. Those days are probably going to be a lot. I guess the number of those opportunities are going to be less and less.
We will see who else may or may not join us before Tausch leaves us. It's a shotgun start at 11?
Shoddy, yep.
So you should tell us about Hard Rock Casino Rockford now as we try to get all your reads in before you leave us.
I will, and we're excited. I don't know, it's like 17, 18 days. We're heading back to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slots, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, guests can enjoy diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe, Council Oaks Steak and Seafood, Italian Kitchen, and my favorite, where I can't wait to try it, is the UU Noodle Bar. Hard Rock Casino, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
More Wilde and Tausch live from the Legends Golf Outing as we celebrate the UW Athletic Department Hall of Fame class. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
This is a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Swing into the Bridges for the Ryder Cup Scramble. On Sunday, June 1st, play a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes of golf with a cart, prizes, and dinner. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing up our bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open, also brought to you by Carbless, Zimbrick Honda, Siding Unlimited, Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, Clear Vision Pro Wash, and Vortex Optics.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
This is our crew.
Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness, Christian Yelich.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
Tausch and Jesse roll on from University Ridge for the Legends golf outing as we celebrate the UW Athletic Department's latest Hall of Fame class.
We're being baptized by a Hall of Famer. Pretty special. Matt, why don't you jump say hello? Say hello to Jake.
Dad!
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, put it out. Yeah, exactly. We're actually going to be videoing all of your golf shots today.
For those of you who are not on the video, you did not get to see Matt LaFleur.
He just said hi to his son that he never wanted.
Yep.
Which was nice.
Hit him straight, Dad.
He's very busy. He's now a newly minted Hall of Famer, so we won't get to.
No, I don't think until you're in. I don't think you're in.
Well,
you're like a electee, but you're not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Well, then what was last night?
That was the announcement of it. So this is.
It's like in February when they announced the class.
Yeah. No, they didn't announce. They only announced him because they wanted.
Wait, what?
He's in. He just hasn't been inducted.
Yeah, he's not in.
But wait a minute. So they announced it in like
February or March.
Yeah.
They wanted to have it in front
and they
of a
announced
full
it
house.
again.
They surprised. It was a little surprise party.
It's like when Kenny Rovak retired and he had 42. He's got another induction. LePay is now going to get going on his third. I think he's got another one this weekend. He's going to do one up at his cabin. I think he's going to set a record for how many different induction parties.
And then they'll do something at a football
Just
game.
imagine when he actually gets inducted, what it's going to look like.
So you're telling me that there was no ceremony of any kind last night?
No.
Well, I mean, there was an event where they announced
the
people.
announcement.
Yeah,
and
I was at the event.
Yeah, Riley was there. Yeah.
This is the third time he's been introduced as a new
So it says right here. Right here in the tweet that I retweeted with a black and white photo of Matt LaFleur with dark hair still from the days of me getting to know him as a student reporter at the Badger Herald. The Badgers tweet says, and I quote, "The voice behind some of our most iconic moments, Matt LaFleur is officially a member of the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2025.
Yeah, but the induction is in September.
Right, he's part of the class.
After he's inducted, it's like this is
officially a member of the class?
Yeah. Hey, why don't you take it up with the social media team from Wisconsin if you want to?
It makes perfect sense.
You know how this goes. This is the announcement of that you're going to get married, and he's sending out save the dates. That's what last night was.
Okay, so he got engaged.
So you said it was. It was an induction ceremony.
I was there last night. I looked at the email, the official email again. You guys are right. It was an announcement technically, but it certainly felt like an induction, and I was fooled. I thought it was the induction.
Well, in fairness, you get fooled easily, though. That's fair, right?
Depends. I feel like at work, not always.
So I believe they do a more formal ceremony in September on a Friday before probably the Middle Tennessee game.
That is the induction. Yeah. Last night was the announcement that you're in.
And then I think it's the Middle Tennessee game. They bring everyone out to midfield, and everyone waves, and they announce them all, and that's part of the celebration.
So do they
weekend.
get like a red jacket? Do they give a speech?
Yeah, that's
when was that?
That's the September ceremony.
I don't think they get a red jacket.
Frank gave a speech last night. Mac and Frank gave speeches last night. Melvin Gordon came to support James White. There was a bunch of family and spouses.
So in essence, we're done. They're all in, and it's over.
No, they're not.
Great. That'll save my September.
They haven't been inducted yet.
No, it sounds like they did. Riley said it happened, so it's over. Congratulations, everybody. You guys don't understand what an announcement is in comparison to the. So when they announce guys for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's it. Well, they announced it.
Right.
They did it in front of the stadium.
But we had the announcement in February.
So
we
you're
celebrated
saying,
a bet.
I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You're saying LaFleur is just milking this thing.
Yeah,
that's in essence what
not
you're
very
saying.
nice, Jason.
I'm not. No,
it is literally what
that's
you
my
just
dad
said.
you're talking about.
No, I'm saying Frank Kaminsky's milking it, and Matt LaFleur's just following along. No, I'm saying I just don't.
Frank didn't get a February announcement.
Jesse, does it not sound like he thinks LaFleur's milking?
He definitely
That's what
thinks
it sounds like.
I just want to understand when I can say he's a Hall of Famer.
Now.
And apparently I can't say that now because he hasn't been inducted.
He's not in.
Yet.
No, he's just he's
so
in
Jesse,
the class.
why did you just say? See, you're confused too. You just said, well, you can say it
No,
now.
he's in the class, but he hasn't been inducted.
Get out of here. Well,
all right. Let's move it along.
Let's move it along. Yeah, I'm trying to. Why don't you just tell us about American Family Insurance?
I
instead?
am, and I will. And American Family Insurance, been a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and for almost 100 years. They have been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, so you're free to enjoy your dreams. Love the fact American Family is involved in all kinds of community stuff. Obviously, the big AmFam Championship this upcoming week. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and I hope you're already feeling good on this Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. I know you'll be feeling good if you trust the fantastic work you can count on from the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints for your next paint project. As you get ready for that dreaded summer paint project for your home, you'll be feeling good if you make Holman Lindsay your first stop. And it's so easy to get connected with a Holman Lindsay pro painter. All you have to do, stop into any Holman Lindsay store, ask, and they'll connect you with the pro that best fits what your project calls for. Remember, Wisconsin's best painters use Wisconsin's best paint. Check them out at HallmanLindsay.com. That's HallmanLindsay.com. Holman Lindsay. Great paint, great people, and stay tuned for Feel Good Friday. Coming up to close out the show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Tagging from third, Freeland. Throw home is late. Brewers have done it 2 days in a row. Walk-off winners in the 10th inning.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. Can the Knicks survive another must-win? Or are the Pacers heading to the finals? Coverage of Game 6 begins Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
I say go, baby, go, go, go. Oh, I say go till you can't go. No more, no more. I say go, baby, go, go, go. I've been to a place where the drifters go. It brought me trouble, yeah, it brought me low. Time was flying, but I was rooted in my blues. When I looked up, all I saw was myself. Standing in my own way, nobody else but me. Can't set me free. So now when I'm looking at that winding road, I say go, baby, go, go, go. Ooh, yeah, go till you can't go. No more, no more. I say go, baby, go, go, go.
Wilde and Tausch rolls on, and now a man whose golf game was besmirched earlier in the show by his playing partner. I don't think that's a great way to start a round.
Well, I
That's
just found out.
me.
Hold up a second. I just found out we're in the same cart, but we're competing against each other today. So I guarantee you this: he's going to make more birdies than when we played 3 days of golf together, 72 holes. I guarantee he's going to make more birdies. than what you did that day, and you were only playing 18.
The saying is what goes around comes around.
Is that the saying?
I think it's one of them.
Okay, it's a good saying. Well, will you introduce who is our other special guest today?
Well, wait a minute. Wait, can I introduce the first one? And then he can introduce whoever
Brooks.
he
It says right on the screen, Brooks Ballinger.
Well,
QB
not everyone's
99
watching.
2.
Not everyone's watching
All right, go
on
ahead.
video.
Okay.
Joining
ahead.
us now, legendary Badgers quarterback and former NFL quarterback and friend of Mark Tauscher, which I know he puts much further down on his resume. It is Brooks Ballinger on Wilde and Tausch. Brooks, welcome. Great to have you. I'm excited now. I'm glad I could give you some bulletin board fodder to kick your old boy's ass here on the golf course today.
Can you say that on the radio?
I can, yes.
I was telling somebody else that today.
You want to kick my keister?
No, I said last time I played with Tausch, I was in the doghouse because I couldn't make a birdie.
Well, you're a 2 handicap, and we're playing 60 or 70 holes. You think, whoa.
2? No, this was a few years ago.
This was a couple years ago, yeah.
It was probably vanity.
So do you want to introduce our third wheel here on the show today?
This is my oldest of 5
God,
children.
are you getting old?
Miles.
How old are you, Miles?
19
years old. And you're a much better golfer than your old man already, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
That's been probably 4 or 5 years since he's beaten
It's
me.
been 4 or 5 years since you've beaten your kid?
Yeah. But that's the beauty of having 5.
You can so just go down a peg and
I'm
just
down
whoop
to
up
the
on.
third one right now. And then, 7-year-old. So I got a little ways to go.
Okay. All right, so you're going to play today.
Yeah, I think I just got subbed in.
He just got
last
called
minute.
up.
Yeah.
So I threw him in the car. I said, hey, come down, and let's spend some time together. He's leaving in August, a little father-son time, and show him around Madison and get to practice out here and see the Ridge. He's never played here.
He's never played here.
Never
Okay.
played.
It's a great golf course. Miles, how much does your dad talk about how great of a quarterback he was? Is he showing you film?
I'm regretting this decision already.
You knew this was
I didn't
gonna...
sign a waiver, by the way, or anything like that.
Neither did we.
I think he just introduced it at a young age to all of us. I mean, my youngest brother's 7, and we'll come downstairs in the morning sometimes, and he's got the highlights pulled up on YouTube.
The old Ohio State. That's why I used to run the naked so good.
Well, the funny thing is whoever, somebody online made a college highlight tape, which was one of the few highlight tapes that I wasn't handing off. Where
Sure.
I actually threw some passes.
Yep.
And
so that was like 01, 02.
And it was
you went 3 years without passing.
It's a really short video.
Yeah. But the song on the highlight video is Rage Against the Machine, Rally Around Your Family or whatever. I can't remember the name of the song, but it says the F word about every other word.
Okay.
But when you're the youngest of 5, we just kind of let it fly, and it's Dad on the TV. So, he's got a deep vocabulary at a young age.
I would bet that he does. And this is a serious question now. So you did have a great career. You played in the NFL. How did you balance that with Miles as far as not pushing because you knew his buddies are telling him this? And how did you balance that? And Miles, I guess I'd love to kind of hear your path in utilizing the good and then also all the BS that he was kind of pushing as far as you were being raised by him.
Yeah, this could turn into a therapy session.
That's perfect. That's what we do here.
But no, I think my wife was also a college athlete, and I think I would say from my perspective, we exposed him to everything. He was a 3-sport athlete in high school, played everything. I never, if anything, I probably underpushed the quarterback thing.
Did you play quarterback?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep, Miles did
His
play
stats
quarterback.
better than yours?
Probably not.
In high school, probably. I don't know. I mean, North Dakota.
Yeah,
pad the
gotcha.
stats
You guys
a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, so I think we probably underpushed the formalization. Obviously, we're really competitive, and I think he just got exposed. The goal was, and I think sports have gotten hard, right? To be a 3-sport athlete,
it's almost impossible.
Today is almost impossible, and he grinded. He's a really good student and ROTC and 3-sport athlete. So it was a hustle. But I thought the value of sports is having those competitive experiences, not a vehicle to just try and get somewhere else. So, we tried to push that. Mom gets a little competitive, sometimes. I'm usually the kind of shoulder like, hey, buddy, good job. I'm proud of you. And Mom's like, if you play defense like that, you're not sleeping in the, house.
Is that accurate, Miles? Is that how it was? That's how it played out?
Yeah,
he was the
pretty
good
much.
cop and Natalie was the bad cop?
For the most part. I mean, yeah, I would say for the most part. There's
times.
There's times.
So as you were going, how much was there an expectation, because your last name was Ballinger, how much of that, especially up at Cretin-Durham, how much was that in play, or was that not a factor at all as you were growing up?
No, it was. I mean, he didn't go there, so it's. I mean,
but he coached.
You're right. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it is like there are expectations, but not like what he always taught me was like it's more about who you are, I guess, and it's just like be a dude, and you if you play well, great. If you don't, you don't. And it's more about in the long run, people care about that more than anything else.
And there is no doubt your dad. I like to bust his chops. He's a dude. Your dad is a dude of a dude. Jason, what do we got?
Yeah, so I'd like to talk more to Miles if I could. First of all, for those
Brooks
that
and I'll do it. We used to do our own show back in, so we can go off and just do Digi only.
No, but I do want to ask him a question before we get back to Brooks, because first of all, as you guys pointed out, I'm not sure if all of our listeners know. So Natalie was a 3-sport athlete at Cretin-Durham Hall, and then she played soccer for the Badgers, which I assume, Brooks, is where you met her. You didn't know her beforehand, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so I am curious about the upside, especially from a mentality perspective, Miles, to have these two incredibly accomplished parents. Obviously Tausch's kids have him, and he played in the NFL for 11 years. Unfortunately, my kids have me, but they have Paula, who was very successful as an athlete. I'm fascinated by the mental side of sports and handling the next play mentality or learning from mistakes and building off of them. How much did your parents help you as an athlete in that part of you becoming the athlete you became?
It's really helpful to have parents like them who just were very supportive, honestly. I mean, he jokes around about my mom being harsh, but I mean, it's like overall, it's just we love you no matter what, like go get the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think football, between basketball, golf, and football is probably the one I was the worst at. Like, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say, but
it's probably the coaching that was the problem there.
I think I wasn't the coach. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, shot missed.
Yeah,
Darn! I thought I had a shot there.
Yeah, no, I think football was a place where there was the most expectations, and obviously football is the one that's the most reliant on, the whole team and what you're running and that kind of stuff. So I think that it was a combination of things, but I definitely think he was also the firstborn. So I think even now as a parent having the next 4 coming up, certainly I think we did a pretty good job, but there was more pressure on him than there was, the subsequent kids, definitely.
So, Brooks, one of my favorite stories that I love to tell about you is covering the scouting combine for the State Journal back in the day and tracking down quarterbacks coaches after you guys threw, and Ken Zampese and some other quarterbacks coaches telling me, because Rex Grossman was with you throwing in that session, and they all said the same thing. The kid from Wisconsin out-threw Grossman, and Grossman was a first-round pick. I want to understand the competitiveness and the drive it took for you. We know you were great at Wisconsin. Best hander offer in the history of the program, but also you could throw the football and run it. What was so crucial to allowing you to have the NFL career that you had? Because I'm not sure when you arrived at the University of Wisconsin with whatever fanfare there was, many people pegged you for having the NFL career that you built as well.
Yeah, and I'd go back a little bit. I don't think anybody knew much about me at all. I wouldn't guess. I had no idea. I spent my whole life thinking I was going to play at the University of North Dakota Division II. That's what I grew up around. That's what I knew. And coming to Wisconsin and playing in the Big Ten was kind of never even entered my mind. So coming in, I don't think I knew what to expect. I think that was a way bigger jump coming from high school to college than it was college to the NFL. And I think once I got over that hurdle, I think the thing that because I think about it looking back in my, again, it's my mind that I think I joke a lot and I'm self-deprecating, but I think I ultimately underachieved a little bit. With that said, I know that at any point.
What makes you say that?
Well, now, there's a caveat there, right? Which is like I realized how many guys were at my talent level that never played a snap, never made a roster.
Right.
I was right on that breaking point. I think two things that I think happened to me in these. Now I'm 45. You kind of look back, but I had so much success so early in my college career, right? And because we had great teams, and I got put in the perfect situation for me. I think we won my first 15 games as a starter. And I think that actually handicapped my development a little bit. And I think you see it with quarterbacks all the time is you go from growing and developing and playing and putting it out there to now I'm holding on to this and I just got to not screw it up, right? And I think that kind of hindered my development internally on the back half of my career. I think the thing in the NFL was I never truly believed – I was just trying to hold on and make a roster spot. I think that was kind of my mindset. And it was easy for me to transition and say, hey, I can win for the University of Wisconsin. I can be all in. I can do what it takes to win. I believe I belong here. I believe in giving everything I have for my teammates and for this institution. When I went to the NFL and it was a job, like it just didn't jive with me. It was kind of like every play was like, don't hit it in the woods. You know what I mean? So, and then I think that.
So you wish you would have looked at it more like I'm going to be the starter. I'm going to lead this blanket team.
Like who's the kid that the Washington quarterback that was with the Bengals most recently had a good little run when Burrow got hurt?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think he played at Washington. I think.
Yeah, Browning. Yeah. He did a little stint with the Vikings, and he was like a late round pick, maybe not going to make it. Kid had something to him, and I sat down with him when we were talking, and he's like, I don't know, I might get into financial services. I don't know how long it's
going to – don't do it.
Don't ever.
Stop with that. Don't ever leave sports.
But I saw a subsequent interview after he kind of had that run, and he just said he flipped a switch, and he spent a large amount of money hiring the best trainers, spent the off season, went and trained with the best guys in the world, like carried himself in that way, and I think ultimately it's the only way to do it.
That's why I think this idea of being arrogant, you have to have an arrogance about yourself, and if you don't, I know from my perspective, I never thought I'd be in the NFL until Jim Huber called me up to his office and said in the middle of my fifth year, hey, there's teams, they're looking at Mac and they're looking at Ron, and people are saying you can do it. That was the first my eyes were like, had you known that earlier. Now sometimes it's all right, you can be ignorant about it, but if you're ignorant in a positive way, that's the way to do it.
And I think, like, in early success sometimes give you – I literally remember coming in that game for Cav against Michigan.
Yep.
On the biggest stage, 2:30 ABC game, packed house against Michigan. And, I didn't – like, looking back, I didn't play perfect. But I came in and I gave us a chance to win, and I made some really good plays. And I was like, I can do this. And from that moment on, I'm like, I had that swagger then, and I had that belief. I just – I, if I'm being honest, in the NFL, I never allowed myself to get there. Now, I could be totally delusional. I'm a accountant's body playing in the NFL, but the point is,
you talking about the movie, or are you talking about like crunching
numbers?
No,
I'm talking
about Affleck.
My body was made to be an
Oh, okay, that's fair. No, it is fascinating, and I know we got to get out and tee off, but before we let you go, your thoughts on where college football is at with the Wisconsin Badgers, this quarterback, there has not been a let's develop and have a Brooks Ballinger, a Jimmy Sorgi. Like, it's just not been the case. It's we're going out and we got to find that guy that's a veteran that can win right away.
I don't know if there's an option right now to develop just with the mindset of the kids.
It's tough.
It's just so it's like finding a needle in a haystack if to even find a kid that would commit to that. So it's so
because if they don't play, they're going to leave.
They're going to leave, right? And somebody's going to offer money and an opportunity to play to make money, and it's the Wild West, man. I don't even really know that I can articulate thoughts about it anymore. It's do
That's
the best
great for
you
radio.
can.
We do that all the time. I don't think I can actually put anything into words.
It's a bad
thank
question.
you, Brooks.
Give me a
That's
better
great.
question.
It's a bad question.
Brooks.
Look, great accountability. That question sucks.
We'll just block the guy.
What do you mean? Just don't let him hit me.
Brooks, we love it when you join us. Thanks for bringing Miles along. The next time we're going to have to wait
Thinking
to
about
get to
swapping out Brooksy for Miles.
Yeah,
too. I'm not
not
sure what
fair.
that trade package looks like.
Well, apparently, at least on the golf course, it's a trade that you want to make. I wanted to get into your storied career with the Florida Tuskers. We'll have to save that for the next time you make time for us. When you won the MVP of the league, so I hope at some point that gets discussed on our show. That'll have to be next time.
Do me a favor when we do talk about it, and we talk about my MVP run. I just want you to have the list of the other quarterbacks in the league side by side, okay?
Who's the big name that we're going to be shocked by?
Well, Jeff Garcia, Dante Culpepper, Josh McCown.
Wow.
Yes, I know.
You know what? You're right. Wow, that's a whole.
This was not the UFL we're talking about right now. I mean,
All right,
Dante Culpepper?
This was an equally. I think he was actually the next year. I don't think he was. JP Lossman.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
all right. So
Tim
go hit
Rattay.
him straight.
Okay.
Come back. You got to come back soon, though. Okay, not another whole year before you join us, because I did want to get to that. We ran out of time. Have a great day on the course. We'll talk Tusker football the next time we have Brooks Ballinger.
This is going viral.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
We're on the Bucks
This is the greatest player this franchise has had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And now they might be in a position where they're forced to deal him away.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, with the end of the postseasons for basketball and hockey now in sight, preparations for summer travel are ramping up. And whether that means weekend travel for sports around the state or big vacation plans driving around the country, make sure your vehicle is ready for every challenge by checking in with the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Tune-ups, battery checks, oil changes, and tire rotations are all part of the regular maintenance your vehicle may need to avoid any issues that could be road trip ruiners. A stop to see the service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you go means more focusing on things to see and places to eat, and less worrying about the inner workings of your vehicle. Call or click to schedule a service appointment before your summer road trip with the great team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Check them out online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Their Memorial Day sale has been extended. Last chance to save 10% off store-wide and take advantage of Steinhoffels' 18-month 0% financing only at Steinhoffels.
Kickoff times and TV networks for the first 3 games of the 2025 Wisconsin Badgers football season have been announced. The Badgers kick off the season Thursday night, August 28th, hosting Miami, Ohio at 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. The following Saturday, September 6th, Wisconsin hosts Middle Tennessee State at 3 o'clock on FS1. And the big one, Saturday, September 13th at Alabama, set for an 11 a.m. kickoff televised on either ABC or ESPN.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Ballinger here from my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brew tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
This is our crew.
At the track, at the wall, jumped up. Jackson Chario brought it back. Jackson!
Hear the sound of summer right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Thanks to Brooks Ballinger. I am a little disappointed we did not get to more Florida Tuskers talk. I did my preparation. I was looking forward to that. Jesse Nelson now takes over in the primary seat at University Ridge. Please don't bang the table repeatedly like the big fella.
So after all that, I really didn't need to get here till 11. I didn't do much of anything for the first 2 hours of the
Yeah,
show.
I'm curious. Is there food there? Why are you there?
There is. Look at this breakfast spread I just found in there. Now that all the golfers are out, we got cheesy potatoes. We got a nice slab of ham. We got a little breakfast quesadilla. Yeah.
So
quesadilla.
We agree, since Molly set everything up,
Yeah.
you really had no role there whatsoever.
No, I literally walked in at 8:59. And I left my house an hour plus before that.
So it was a bad accident. Must have been tying up traffic.
More than one, perhaps. Yeah, rough drive over here, and that comes after a rough drive to the Dells last week when we were at the Tellurian golf outing with Don Mikowski and Dorsey Levens and all the Packers legends that joined us. So I think I just need to stop coming to golf outings with Tausch. I think that's part of the problem. When we drive separately to golf outings, we run into really bad traffic situations on the roads, and I think I just need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the two of you were driving separately. So I thought there was maybe some sort of an in-vehicle issue, because Lord knows, especially if you were driving not fast enough, or maybe you were the passenger and you were messing with the radio or not giving him proper directions off of Google Maps, that there could be some issues there. But
I don't want to fall into whatever Schleppy's face or whatever that guy's name was that was with him in St. Louis. I don't want to fall into that category. And so far, we've been good co-pilots together, but driving separately appears to be
a delicate
issue.
balance.
We should only take the tandem bike whenever we go anywhere.
Yeah, well, you're bound to have an issue if you're riding with him. Don't have to pee, although he will stop at Quick Trip for his cup of mud. All right, we've got the 11 o'clock hour still ahead. Got a few things I want to get to from the Packers OTA. I want to talk a little bit about Christian Watson, who I wrote about on Channel 3000. I also want to talk about Aaron Banks a little bit. And Jesse and I and Riley will do that. Plus, we'll play trivia. Whoa, Nelly, or will it be Whoa, Riley today because you're on site?
Depends.
Maybe a little bit of both.
If they got seconds of breakfast in there, I might just take the rest of the show off.
And, of course, Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. That's all ahead in the 11 o'clock hour. But I want to remind you first, it's the last weekend of Steinhaffel's extended Memorial Day sale. We are working on converting our playroom to more of a teenager hangout room. And so Chad and Danny and all of our friends at Steinhaffel's have been given me suggestions on what we can do with that room, and now's the time to make that deal because it's your last chance to save 10% off store-wide. Plus, get amazing deals like sofas for $499, dining tables for only $549, and queen beds and reclining sofas for just $699. Plus, take advantage of Steinhaffel's 18-month 0% interest financing to make your purchase even more affordable. Steinhaffel's is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader, so shop in-store or online during the extended Memorial Day sale at steinhaffels.com. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Nelson and Yauk starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. It was a massive evening for many Badgers last night as the new UW Athletic Hall of Fame class was officially announced, not inducted, at Camp Randall Stadium. Just a few of the names entering the hall are hockey legend Joe Pavelski, the voice of the Badgers Matt LaFleur, former Dallas Cowboy Travis Frederick, Patriots Super Bowl hero James White, and Naismith Award winner Frank Kaminsky. The aforementioned Kaminsky will be at the Made 'em Believe event on June 26th at the Orpheum, so make sure to get your tickets now at uwhoops2015.com. The Brewers are also back in action tonight. The crew is riding a 4-game win streak and hoping to stay hot on the road against the NL East leading Phillies. First pitch scheduled for 5:45 Central. DL Hall making his first start of the season. Make sure to tune into the Jim, Matt, and Molly watch-along tonight on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Without the Tausch, but with Jesse Nelson and Riley Yauk. And me. Jesse, we had a lot of things planned for today's show. Instead, we got Chris McIntosh and Brooks Ballinger, which was awesome. If you missed any of those interviews, go back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. You can catch those later. And, of course, wherever you get all your podcasts, etc. But that was great. We're gonna save a few of the things we had planned, and we'll use them on Monday. But you seemed, and I don't want to put words in your mouth because that's what we do around here.
Well, when one of us is around, we put words in each other's
Indeed,
mouth.
and it's not you, and it's not me. You seemed very interested in the Jordan Love first pitch saga.
I did. Yes. So, okay. We haven't talked about this all week long. That first pitch sucked on Monday.
Now, before you go any farther, In fairness to Jordan, for those of you that didn't see it, and I saw video on social media of it, it was, if you're old enough, I remember I never actually saw this pitch delivered because the guy who used to throw it was before I was watching or playing baseball, but the eephus pitch is what it was called. And it was like this high arcing lob of a pitch. There were some contemporary players that would try and incorporate it.
Daisuke from the Red Sox about a decade ago.
Indeed. But that was the comparison that was being made.
Yeah, it
because
was not
if you
pretty.
were watching the video, the ball actually disappears from the video window on your widescreen television because it went so high.
Yeah. Lollipop.
Rip Sewell was the one who brought that into existence in the 1946 All-Star game.
Can't say I'm familiar with Rip's work. Okay, so I am uniquely qualified as someone who has thrown out a ceremonial first pitch to
Wait a minute.
talk about this.
Has Tausch thrown one out? I've thrown one out at the Madison Mallards game.
I believe we have talked about throwing out a ceremonial first pitch before, and I think this show in particular is uniquely qualified. Like, I don't know if Jim, Matt, and Molly in the afternoons can say that everyone on their panel has thrown out a ceremonial first pitch. I'm sure Matt has. I don't know if Jim has. I don't think Molly had. Molly, did you? No, she hasn't. She's shaking her head no.
Do you think we could get the Mallards to have all three of us throw them out simultaneously, and then we could see who throws the best pitch?
Absolutely, I think we could. They do like 20 ceremonial first pitches at Mallards games these days.
So
like,
since they have a low bar, we've got a chance.
You have to ask out of doing a ceremonial first pitch when you go to those Northwoods League games. So here's the trick, and this is what when I threw the ceremonial first pitch, it was at a Peoria Chiefs single-A baseball game in Peoria. I was working for the ESPN Peoria affiliate right after I had graduated college.
Riley,
yes?
Is it on brand that Jesse has taken the story of Jordan Love's first pitch and made it about himself, or what?
I would say it is on brand.
Wow. Didn't see this coming.
This actually makes sense, though, because I'm trying to offer the Packers quarterback some advice on his first
Well, that's
pitch.
awfully magnanimous
Because
of you. Sure.
he
Go
went-
ahead.
I believe after checking the film, he went to the top of the mound. And this is the trick if you're throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Nobody cares if you go to the plate, the pitcher's plate. Nobody cares if you're up on top of the mound. It is presumed by those who walk out, I'm going to the top of the mound. I'm not throwing out a major league first pitch. If you throw at the bottom of the mound, you're on a level plane, and you're less likely to airmail one or send it way off and have your trajectory thrown off. So you go to the bottom of the mound to throw out the ceremonial first pitch, and then you throw it a laser right down the pipe like we know Jordan Love is capable of. I saw some video from OTAs. Much better throws than he had on opening day.
Well, he wasn't throwing
Memorial Day.
baseballs.
Yeah, well, but then he played in the charity softball game last Friday, and he's talking to Sophia Minard during the game while he's got a big tub of fries and hot dogs because it's Dollar Dog Day, which I love that our starting quarterback's eating fries and dogs sitting front row at the Brewers game on Memorial Day.
As opposed to chewing tree bark like
yeah, exactly.
Bradshaw says Rogers does.
But he's talking to Sophia on the FanDuel Wisconsin broadcast, and he says, yeah, I hit 3 home runs in the charity softball game. I've played baseball. That made the first pitch even worse. If he said, I've never played baseball, and I'm not used to throwing a baseball, okay, that's better. Like, say you're better at something else, or I only played football. Like, don't tell me you're a good baseball player and that you hit 3 home runs in the charity game on Friday night, and then you walk out and you throw that first pitch like a lollipop. Awful.
So I think, Riley, you've got this clip, right? He explained himself to us at the OTA practice on Wednesday. He did explain why the throw looked the way it did. Here is Jordan Love explaining his effort.
Man, first pitch, it made it there. It was a little bit of a lob pass. I threw it like a football, But it was awesome being down there. Definitely need to get some more experience throwing a baseball. Get a little warm up next time, and I'll be good. But next pitch will be better.
He's saying it's because he didn't. No one warms up. David Gruber's not warming up when he's throwing out a first pitch.
Now, he subsequently said that he quit playing baseball in middle school. But as you point out, he did have the charity softball game. Now, I don't care that he hit 3 home runs. How much throwing did he do in that game? I didn't go. I wasn't there. So I don't know which position he played. I can tell you this, and again, not comparing him to the previous quarterback because Lord knows some things with the previous quarterback have taken some turns.
He already did that once this week, too.
And I did, yes, third year, Super Bowl or bust. But Aaron Rodgers was a really good baseball player, right? I mean, he threw in the high 80s as a pitcher. He considered maybe pursuing that instead of football when he wasn't getting any football interest as a player, as a high school player. So I get it. Jordan didn't play baseball all the way through high school. I did think that maybe he was. Look, I just got to make sure it gets there. Because to me, let me turn into Jesse here. Given my extensive experience throwing out first pitches.
How did your Mallards pitch go? Like, what was your mentality?
My mentality was, first of all, I did play catch beforehand. Because I didn't want to tear my labrum.
How old were you when you did this?
This was when we were doing. This was in my early days with Good Karma Brands. We were doing the show, the Dream Team.
Oh man!
It was our friend Rob Vogel,
Kennedy president.
Come on, I wasn't even alive when Kennedy was president. Wow! No, if you'd have gone Reagan. So it was probably like 04-ish.
Okay.
I think the Mallards were in their infancy. They had just come along. It was very early, so Rob and I went out there, the ombudsman and I wanted to look mildly athletic. So I wanted to be able to throw with some velocity without trying to like go into the wind-up and like act like I'm Randy Johnson, right? So I threw a strike. and it was on a line. But again, what I didn't want to do, and what I think Jordan Love didn't want to do, was bounce it up there. And if you're trying to bring the heat and you overextend, you could throw it in the dirt and then you look like a jackwagon.
Yes, you don't want to do that. You for sure do not want to bounce it.
And you definitely don't want to be like 50 Cent, who like hit the back screen, but way off to the right. Too. He almost killed a guy.
Yes. So I think if we're ranking worst case scenarios for first pitch, number one is you injure yourself, and Jordan Love suddenly missing OTAs because he tore a rotator cuff throwing the first. Like that would be absolute worst case scenario. Second worst would be the way that 50 Cent did it, where he throws way outside and it doesn't hit anybody and it goes rolling all the way to the wall. Third worst is bouncing it. Fourth worst is airmailing it the way that he did. So if he was going to mess up, he chose the best way to mess up. But you're the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. This isn't some fan from Section 202 who won the opportunity to go down and throw the ceremonial first pitch. You got to throw a better first pitch if you're Jordan Love. I don't care if you're nervous, if you're not warmed up or anything.
What a critic.
You got to throw a better first pitch. Caleb Williams threw a first pitch that looked just fine compared to what Jordan Love did. I don't want
It is especially tough when Ben Johnson throws a nasty first pitch.
He threw a slider
and for a strike too, down. And he started on the mound, which I think is important, Jesse.
It's not important. No, it's not important at all.
It is.
No one cares. Everyone in the world expects, if they're going to share on any social media platform, Jordan Love throwing the first pitch out at the game. Everyone in the world expects that thing's going to be a strike because he's a starting NFL quarterback and one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Everyone expects it's going to be a strike. The only thing that could go viral is if something bad were to happen. So why push anything? Go to the bottom of the mound, just toss it in there casually, act like it looks like you've thrown a baseball before in your life, and you're fine. Nick in Boston just texted in on the Carbless Talking text line. There's a little clip on one of the social media platforms, rather the Brewers or Packers, where Yelich is showing Jordan Love how to grip a baseball.
Well, yeah, he's probably not familiar with a 4-seam grip versus
you don't need to throw a
2-seam and a
2-seam
slider.
fastball when you're throwing a Yelich for the ceremonial first pitch. Just put it in the general vicinity of home plate and don't throw it up to section 309 when it's coming down.
Scared money don't make money.
Awful first pitch.
Jesse, your superiority over the Packers quarterback is showing.
So, and this once more to put a bow on this, since I'm in that seat,
Good
I
one.
get to say that. Yeah,
good one.
To put a bow on this, I asserted several years ago when the Brewers were in the playoffs that in Seattle for the Seahawks games, they have the 12th man come out and raise that flag up, and it's always a celebrity or a former player of some type, and it's always a big celebration. There are other sports teams who have celebrity individuals come out for some type of special ceremony for the start of a big game. I think the Brewers need to implement, instead of the ceremonial first pitch, which is done by everybody from the Brewers to the Mallards, I think they need to implement the ceremonial first slide down Bernie's slide. And you get
then you
Jordan,
can rupture your Achilles stopping yourself as you hit the wall.
Into that
I
wall.
went down Bernie's slide last year. Riley went down Bernie's slide. It's not that hard to not tear your Achilles
It's
going
fast,
down Bernie's
though.
slide. Didn't
someone from L.A. break their leg? No, they broke their arm trying to brace for
which
impact.
doesn't make any sense, because if you're going to break anything, it's your leg. They gave us the advice, don't stick your leg out full extension.
True.
That's where injuries happen. I don't know how that dude broke his leg or his arm.
It flies.
But think about this. Game 1, wild card series last year, Brewers-Mets. And here comes Ryan Braun out of Bernie's Chalet before the top of the first inning. And he's waving the flag, and he's sliding down the slide, and the crowd goes nuts. And it energizes everybody more than Bernie, more than the fireworks, more than any ceremonial first pitch. That's special for the Brewers. They got to implement that.
Just because you're sitting in Tausch's seat doesn't require you to try and improve everything like he does. Going down a slide, there's the awkwardness then of scrambling back to your feet to get the reaction from the crowd at the bottom of this. No, this is a terrible idea. Terrible.
You wave the flag first up top, and then
but you still
down.
look awkward, including you, by the way, once you get to the bottom. It's not like you pop-up slide like you go into second base and you're showing off with a double and you pop up, which used to be fun, by the way, when I was more athletic. That was always nice.
Pretty good.
True.
Yeah.
So, no. Get out of here.
Thank you to everyone who is saying who the hell calls the rubber the pitcher's plate.
Jesse.
Great statement.
Josh DiMaggio. Yeah, I'm sorry. Not the pitcher's plate. It was the rubber. I had a little brain fart. I'm sorry. That doesn't take away my point.
I'm still trying. If I may, before we bow this.
I already said we put a bow on it.
What? Yeah, you're not in charge.
No,
I know
I'm
you think
not.
you are.
No, I am not.
Why? What were the circumstances? And what level of, and I'm not here to besmirch ESPN Peoria in any way.
I knew this was coming. Yeah.
Why the hell were you throwing out a first pitch to begin with?
So at our radio station complex in Peoria, there was a KISS FM station, a ESPN Peoria station, a couple other music stations, and it was KISS FM night at the ballpark. So we had a big promotional thing out front and T-shirts and little baseballs with the logo on it being given away. Every Thursday in the summer was the KISS FM night. It was like dollar beer night, too. And so you get your Coors Lights for $1. Everybody was enjoying it, and then always a great crowd. And then someone from our station would throw out the first pitch each time. So I was the one chosen for one of the Thursday nights. So we all kind of took a turn throughout that summer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty low. Talk about a low bar.
I didn't have my own show. I didn't produce anything. I did like one thing a week, and they're like, "Here from ESPN Peoria, it's Jesse Nelson." I was like, "Yeah, hey everybody," and they're like, "Yeah." Threw a good pitch though, right down the pipe.
I'm sure you did. And the umpire called it a ball. All right, we need to play some trivia, and then we need to give away another Vortex Golf rangefinder when we do the drawing. After that, Jesse, what is today's category, and which caller would you like to have Riley answer?
The UW Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2025. Today's trivia category. We've already heard from a few of the members of that class. They have not been inducted yet, but they are members of the Hall of Fame class of 2025 to be inducted later this year. There are 12 of them.
Two more announcements coming up between now and September.
So I think it's appropriate that caller 12, either for the number of members in the class or the number of times Matt LaFleur will get a celebration for his induction into the class, caller 12 for the Wilde and Tausch trivia chance to win a Vortex Golf swag bag seems appropriate.
All right, caller 12 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Operators are standing by. That operator, of course, is Riley Yauk. Caller 12 right now plays trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God. Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2025 Honda Civic Sport for as low as $260 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Jim Rutledge here from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Join myself alongside Molly Brown and Olympic gold medalist Matt Hamilton in Cottage Grove at Oakstone Recreational on Friday, May 30th. We'll do a live show of Jim, Matt, and Molly, and then we'll do a watch-along on the ESPN Madison YouTube as the Brewers take on the Phillies. ESPN Madison is your home for Brewers baseball in Madison and the home of Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays 4 to 6. Join us live on YouTube and in person from Oakstone Recreational for Brewers vs. Phillies on Friday, May 30th.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
All right, apparently Jesse was so busy being late to University Ridge that he still hasn't fixed Big Voice Guy.
Yeah.
So, I'm here to tell you it's time for trivia. Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Bravo. Well done, Big Voice Jason. Good job. I hear Riley's good at voices. We should have had him do it.
Yeah, he does. He is good. Not as good as you, although then nobody's heard your David Bakhtiari, and then the fact that you forced me to do Terry Bradshaw. Let's welcome in our contestant, and it is, Big Voice Jason would say, first-time contestant. It is John and McFarland. John, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm just Ducky.
Ducky, I like that.
You ever thrown out a ceremonial first pitch, John?
Jeez, because apparently they'll let anybody do it.
I have not.
That's too bad.
Oh, Jesse with a flex. John, I'm always curious about first-time contestants. Are you a recent listener to the show? Have you tried to play trivia previously and just never been the caller? What is your journey to this great opportunity?
Well, I was driving downtown, and it's the first chance I've actually had to participate, so we'll give it a go.
All right, well, let's give it a run, because you do have the opportunity to win the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and a swag bag from them. So, the category, which Jesse worked very hard on, the UW Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2025. Jesse will be playing the role of Tausch and handling question 2. Question 1 from me is this. Which of these athletes being inducted into the UW Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2025 twice medaled as a member of the Team USA women's hockey team, winning bronze at the 2006 Olympics in Italy and silver at the 2010 Games in Vancouver? Was it Molly Engstrom, Kara Walls, or Matt LaFleur?
I was proud of that one.
Nah.
We'll go with B, Walls.
I'm afraid not. Molly Engstrom. I got to be honest, Jesse, and I don't want to disrespect in any way the greatness of Badger women's hockey, but it is a sport where a lot of people don't know a lot of the players.
Understood. It was still a 50-50 chance because I wanted to get Matt LaFleur in there.
So basically, this was all for you to use a pun.
Yeah, I wanted to go Matt LaFleur. I really wanted to do that, and
It gave John a 50-50 chance, but that's okay. He can bounce back. I think he's got a good chance at the next two.
Well, that's magnanimous of you. Read question 2 there, Mr. Difficult Question number 1.
Question 2, John. Let's get you on the board here. Joe Pavelski played for just 2 NHL franchises over his 18-year professional career. Which of these is not one of the 2 NHL teams Pavelski played for? The Colorado Avalanche, the Dallas Stars, or the San Jose Sharks? Which team did Joe Pavelski not play for in his career?
The San Jose Sharks.
Jesse, how's this going for you?
Joe Pavelski played the first 13 seasons of his professional hockey career with the San Jose Sharks before finishing the final 5 seasons with the Dallas Stars. The correct answer, the Colorado Avalanche.
John, man,
it's a tough draw for John.
Hope you'll play again someday.
I've never claimed to be a hockey fan, so
no. And now you've had. Some might say that in a 12-person class, having 2 of the 3 questions be about hockey players.
Well,
just own it.
In
you
fairness,
didn't make it easy.
In fairness to me, I figured we would have Frank Kaminsky on the show today. I thought LePay might stop by. I thought we might be a little more engaged with some of the other members of this.
James White!
Yeah, I mean, but what are you going to ask about James White? Like, who should have been the MVP of that Super Bowl that Brady won?
Who was the opponent in that game? I mean, come on. This is
How many touchdowns did he score?
Get this. Wait, wait, just a second.
Okay.
Now, question 3.
This is a good question.
This is horrible.
This doesn't get any easier for John, but this is a great question.
You said he had a good chance of getting the next 2.
Well, that was before he got the second one
get
wrong.
This?
Chances go up exponentially if he gets question 2 right.
John, I'll be honest. You've got a 33.333333333% chance of getting this right because I don't even know the answer. I only know it because it's bolded
That's a tough
on
one.
here.
This is a tough one.
What a jackwagon you are.
It's a good nugget, though. It's a real good nugget.
It's not even about Travis Frederick.
It's kind of.
Wisconsin's unbelievable. Wisconsin's Travis Frederick was selected with the 31st overall pick in the first round of the 2013 NFL Draft.
The first draft ever on a Thursday night, if I recall.
True.
Which of these players was the only quarterback selected in the first round of the 23 NFL Draft? What the hell does that have to do with Travis Frederick's career?
Because you get to say Travis Frederick, soon to be inducted into the UW Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2025. There was only one quarterback selected in the first round.
Go out to the pitcher's plate and just own the fact that these questions suck. And you owe John an apology.
I bet John's not going to get this right.
Now trying reverse psychology as well.
Yeah.
The reverse jinx. All right, which of these gentlemen was the only quarterback selected in the first round of the 2013 NFL Draft? Was it Geno Smith, E.J. Manuel, or Mike Glennon?
Let's go with E.J. Manuel.
Only by the act of God and luck. Because, John, you did not know that.
No, he did.
Oh, of course I did.
Hey,
Yes.
and for those scoring at home, members of Bill's Mafia, that's a J.P. Lossman and an E.J. Manuel reference on today's show. How about that?
Yes,
Ballinger.
and E.J. Manuel finished his career with the San Jose Sharks. John, you got 1 right. That means you got 2 entries into the drawing. I wish you luck because much like this argument about reseeding the playoffs based on record in the NFL and eliminating the division stuff, you did not get the Packers' cake schedule of getting to play the AFC South and a beaten-up NFC West on these 3 questions.
Tough
So
draw
good
for
job.
John.
I hope you'll play again. Thanks, buddy.
I'll keep my fingers crossed. Thank you, guys.
Hey, the good news for John is the people who have had the lowest amount of poker chips in the cheese fry helmet have gone on to win the drawing the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
and good news for John, you're not pulling the winner, are you?
I'm not. Riley's in charge of that today, which I think Riley just found out.
From the private talk and text line.
Oh, no.
I don't know if this person wants to be on the record or off the record. Terrible questions.
Yeah.
I propose a 1-week trivia ban for Jesse. Here's the problem with that, anonymous source. Jesse's going to eat up the opportunity to not have to do as much work.
Then you're going to get Gerald Ford every day, and how are you going to like that?
Bring back UFC trivia.
By the way,
see how that goes.
I think John should have known that Joe Pavelski played for the San Jose Sharks.
I know Joe Pavelski was a great player. I knew he played for the Sharks. I didn't know if Dallas Stars or Colorado Avalanche was right.
Yeah, but he guessed the Sharks.
Okay, but again, hockey, not something that everybody watches. I don't watch a lot of it till the playoffs start. All right, that is trivia.
Pavelski was in the playoffs every year.
Thank you. We all know that you wrote the questions.
I'm done.
I don't know if it's Woe Nelly or Woe Riley. Surprise me. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
At Metro Ford of Madison, they sell vehicles that are built in America for America. This month, enjoy their You Pay What We Pay sale. The 2024 Ford Mach-E offers 0% APR financing for 72 months. $13.89 cost for $1,000 borrowed. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.47 per $1,000 borrowed. Bonus cash available on XLT and SXT models. All offers available to qualified credit. Browse their inventory at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America.
America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. WeatherTech Chicago is up next on June 6th through the 8th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
This is our crew.
12 stolen bases on the year. There he goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Is right on the back. They got him. Oh, wow.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
Before we get to Woden Riley, we need to pull this week's winner of the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag. I also need to know who I need to talk to over there. I'm willing to pay for it because I'm not eligible for the contest, but I've now been asked by both of the golfers in my family, can we get a rangefinder? Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But someone's going to get one for free for winning trivia, and Riley Yauk is going to decide who that person is by pulling from the cheese fry helmet the winner.
And that person is Mike and Franklin.
Mike. Nice win, Mike. Hey,
congratulations to Mike.
Mike was the one who said he's played a bunch, but he's never won. How about that? Big week for Mike. That's a big
it's nice
win.
of you to help his chances by giving John and McFarland such crappy questions. So good job. Speaking of crappy, time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
Jesse, I feel like you can start us off.
Oh, I like the cooperation. That's nice.
Oh, thanks, Riley. I was going to yield to you to go first.
No, I think your topic's more interesting to start.
I have a pretty good topic today.
Yeah, I heard you had good questions, too.
This is actually... So, I have an opportunity potentially to do something for the first time in my life on Monday. I have received a summons to be a juror.
Oh, boy.
You think I'd be good at it, Jason? I think I would be a great juror.
I think you'll be the foreman.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to stand and do the reading in the court hearing. I don't even know how all that stuff works. I think I'm just disconnected enough from everything where I think I'd be unbiased on a lot of things. At first, when I submit everything, I'm like, there's probably no chance I even get called for this. But then I thought about, I would actually love to do this at some point next week. So I'm actually hoping to get out of work for a few days. I would take some trivia off to go be a juror and do my civic duty for this great nation.
When do you find out what the case is? How does that work?
Yeah, you don't even know if you'll be called, right?
So, I mean, I'm sure many other people, including, I think Ben Brust did this, was it a year ago or earlier this year? I forgot when he did it. But if Brust was a juror, there's no doubt I could be a juror. I'm just going to throw that out there. So you find out, after 4 o'clock today, you're divided into these different categories of your numbered category. And then after 4 o'clock, they say, we're drawing this number. You report on Monday at whatever time. And then you go in, and then they do the more further vetting process, and they narrow it down eventually to I think it's 12 that end up being on the jury for whatever the case is, and then you start to find out everything. So, I don't know much about it. Unlikely that I probably end up doing it, but I'm excited about the opportunity to have my name in the ring to be a juror next week in Dane County. Very exciting. Riley, would I be a good juror?
I think you'd be a good juror. I just feel that the system, I'm pretty sure I took a law class at UW-Madison, and I'm pretty sure they intentionally don't have people who are in the public eye be jurors.
So I can actually speak to this.
Oh, okay. Jason,
because I tried to use that to get out of it.
Uh-oh.
Now, knock on wood, it ended up I was not called. So every night before, they notify you if you have to report or not. And enough cases apparently were plea bargained, so I didn't have to go in.
No.
But that was one of the concerns. And look, I am not like Tausch level of famous by any means, so please don't misconstrue this. But there are times when people recognize me out and about.
Well, I get recognized all the time.
I'm sure you do. You're that guy from
Overture
ESPN
Center,
Peoria who threw out the first
Queen.
pitch.
Yeah, they know
even
me
though
everywhere around
their
town.
afternoon hosts were more deserving. Yeah, exactly. Okay, maybe I've seen too many Law and Order episodes, but I don't want to be the juror who is the one recognizable face in the box, and we convict a guy of murder, and one of his cronies comes and gets takes me out. So
get whacked.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be whacked, Jerry.
Well, good news for me. Jim in the YouTube comments when we were doing our first pitch discussion said, this guy's a clown, clearly not familiar with my work. So I must not be famous enough, which means I probably am still eligible to be a member of the jury.
Well, Nick in Wanakee just texted in, the first juror I get rid of is a person who wants to be a juror.
What does Nick in Wanakee know?
Is he a judge?
He's a judge.
Judge
Nick.
No way, judges.
Yeah,
Nick,
who decides
no
the
way.
jury? Is it a third party? Or is it like the court system as a whole? Or is it the judge? Does the judge decide his own jury?
No, if I know anything from Law and Order or the other court shows, is the lawyers basically, they do this entire interview process to figure out who it should be, right? It's not the judge. They say, we dismiss juror number 13.
It's voir dire is what it's called, where they say, okay, I object to that idiot with the new haircut wearing his glasses so he looks more intelligent from the radio program.
Oh, I'm sure for sure bring out the wide brims. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Okay, my topic, a little less serious, I guess you could say. So I played slow pitch softball for the first time this season last night. Tausch is out golfing right now, and I want to ask you guys, what's the best day drinking sport? I'm firmly of the belief that slow pitch softball is the best day drinking sport. I absolutely love cracking open a Coors Light while sitting on the bench waiting for my turn to hit. But I know a lot of people think golf is the best day drinking sport because they literally have a cart girl drive around selling you beverages. So what say you, Jason?
Yes,
Well,
Jason.
the beauty
You're
of
uniquely qualified to address this.
For me, anytime's a good time to drink a bubbler drink.
Yep.
Although maybe for some, a little bit later in the day is a bad idea. You want to drink them day drinking because they got a lot of caffeine in them. You don't want to drink them late at night. So, look, I remember playing slow pitch softball. That was always fun, right? It's always fun until somebody blows out a hammy. Trying to leg out a triple when they shouldn't be. And then Jesse's over there making the call at third base that he's out. Jesse, you're going to have to take this one. This is not my area of expertise.
Always tough when you have the one person wearing basketball shorts who wants to slide into second on a close play. There's always one of those.
No, someone yesterday was wearing baseball pants and tried to break up a double play with 2 outs in the inning.
The worst.
Hard slide. The other team's up 11 runs on us already. And he's hard sliding, trying to break up a non-existent double play. That was frustrating.
Jim Gantner.
Yeah.
Bowling is the correct answer. when I threw my 300 game.
Nine-pin tap!
In the 9-pin tap tournament last year. I threw my 300 game. I was definitely a few Coors Lights in for the celebration of that one up wherever we were. I forgot. Oshkosh, Fond du Lac, somewhere up there. Golf. I think golf is probably number 2 because golf, it's just so naturally part of it. Like, I would rather enjoy a beverage with the team after playing softball than during the game. I would rather go out afterwards and say, okay, we're done. Good game, everybody. Well, victory beer's on me. Let's head over wherever we're going. As opposed to golf, bowling, those sports, like that, you're more enjoying the Coors Light casually while you're invested in participating in the sport. So that's where I would place my selection there.
All right, we need to end it there so we have time for Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
Hey, I threw out a first pitch too, Jesse.
You did?
I did. For a Snappers game back in the day, I was 10, threw a strike right down the middle.
The Beloit Snappers.
Wow.
Now the Sky Carp.
Now the Sky Carp, ABC Supply
Maybe
Stadium.
we could do the Sky Carp too if we play our cards
Diane
right.
Hendricks.
Make the rounds.
Built a nice
Doubleheader. Hit them back-to-back nights.
All right, we'll wrap things up with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether it's for an upcoming summer vacation, college tuition, in advance of a life-changing purchase, or just because you're financially responsible, everybody is always looking to save money. Well, you can save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch with Everlight Solar. Our family made the switch to solar after looking around for quite some time, and at first, we just weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today.
Kickoff times and TV networks for the first 3 games of the 2025 Wisconsin Badgers football season have been announced. The Badgers kick off the season Thursday night, August 28th, hosting Miami, Ohio at 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. The following Saturday, September 6th, Wisconsin hosts Middle Tennessee State at 3 o'clock on FS1. And the big one, Saturday, September 13th at Alabama, set for an 11 a.m. kickoff televised on either ABC or ESPN.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, it's a World Series rematch in Los Angeles. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers go head-to-head with Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees.
Sunday on 100.5 ESPN.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind, felt the weight. Try to live up to the say I am. Is it any wonder? Shame comes calling my first name. Is there any question if I'm the one?
We wrap up the week and wrap up the show late as usual with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Look, man, if we're going to do like 18 announcements of the Hall of Fame class for the UW Athletic Department, then damn it, we're going to celebrate Matt LaFleur as Feel Good Friday again, and we'll do it again in September, and we'll probably do it again sometime between now and September. Our friend, the voice of the Badgers, is going into the UW Athletic Hall of Fame. There are other greats, Frank Kaminsky, James White, Travis Frederick, everybody else, but our guy is Matt LaFleur, and Jesse adopted him as his second father. That is not as big of an honor as this is, and he could not be more deserving. We love him. Matt LaFleur, congratulations again on your Hall of Fame induction, which hasn't happened yet.
If he gets 18 ceremonies, he deserves every one of them. There is nobody nicer and kinder to the broadcasting community and the community of Wisconsin athletics than Matt LaFleur.
Including to you, even though I don't know why. All right, that's it for us today. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good.